Doo-doo-dum.
Should we just kick it off? Or,
Yeah, let's just kick it off. We're going.
I need to get reinvigorated. I need to get back into it again. I was excited for the last one. We had a great start. Todd was being a jabroni.
Wait, was it the 2020? It was this year.
Wait, that tweet.
Yeah, from One Piece Treasure Cruise, 20th of March 2020.
Why'd they make a tweet about the game this year?
Officially,
Like that,
what do you
like
mean
that?
officially? Like, who gives a fuck if it's licensed? Of course, it has to be licensed in jabroni.
No, have you seen some of the bootleg One Piece games?
Yeah, but I mean, like, the bro.
There was like
And they even use fucking OPTC's art.
yeah, there was one on Facebook. I can't remember what it was called, but I tweeted it.
Pirate Battle.
Instagram shit. Pirate Battle. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it was like Pirate Tap Battle. And it just had like Cold Brand Luffy.
Oh, dude. It's time.
Oh god.
I don't know.
Welcome to another episode of Good Grand Perfect, everyone. We're just gonna kick it off there. We sound a bit frazzled because our recording software messed up everything, but we're back, take two. Hopefully this shit hits properly. But what is going on, guys? I'm Captain Papi. Got the crew with me. Everyone's here. Todd's on the phone doing his thing, but he'll pop in at some point, right? But we're going to get on to Ep.17. We finally made it through 17 Eps. I can't even reuse the jokes that we mentioned in like the first take. You know what I mean? Like, it feels weird if I'm like, oh, let's just repeat the exact jokes we just mentioned. But 17 Eps, we're here now. Thank you once again for all the subs, follows, views, tweets, and listens. We really do appreciate it. We appreciate all the engagement you guys make with the podcast itself. For today's podcast, we're going to be taking a different approach to the podcast itself. Generally, for the previous podcast, it was on my head, but like a lot of the time with our planning and stuff, we'd look through what happened in the previous fortnight and then just base everything that we're going to talk about on that. So basically, like, it was a news report, more or less. So we'll just go through the news, talk about it, maybe give some opinions here and there. But other than that, nothing really crazy would occur. What we're going to try this from now on is we're going to take the major points from every I can't even think.
Like source of stuff. Like,
yeah, we're going to take the
on?
major points from the previous 2 weeks, and we're going to talk about those, give our thoughts and opinions, and actually have a discussion that's going to, introduce a little bit more banter and, a little bit more back and forth between all the members rather than, me just yapping for fucking 2 hours, So it's going to be a little bit more dynamic in that sense. So like, it may be like 3 to 4 topics that we find quite interesting, and we'll go from there. This week in particular, though, we're going to be discussing just a general topic of like, what does a 6+ need to actually be considered good in One Piece Treasure Cruise? We're also going to talk about the a lot of information that popped up on the 6th anniversary website. In more in particular, like how like the unit usage list. So there's a lot of numbers and stats there that would be interesting to go into, looking at like what units were most popular and such there. And then finally, the big point of the whole episode today, we're going to actually give our impressions and our thoughts and our opinions on PvP. So the PvP mode in the game just came out on JP. Obviously, Nightmare's here, so he's going to give us a really good first-hand experience as to how he's been enjoying it or not enjoying it for it itself. Without further ado, though, let's get into it, guys.
Warning to everybody, once they start talking about PvP, I might zone out a little bit because I do not care until
I
it's
haven't been keeping up to date.
Yeah, I haven't looked into it either.
I think the excitement levels for PvP vary greatly between all of us, which is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get into that.
We'll get into that though. But the reason why I wanted to talk about 6+ is because Japan just recently released their 6+ V1 Fuji, which has been coming for the last 2 or 3 years or so, and I know Job is quite excited about V1 Fuji finally getting a 6+ there. And then I also wanted to like make kind of like a comparison in a sense, because Global just got V1 6+ Kata, and that's probably like one of the better, if not one of the best 6+ we've received in recent time itself. So I'm gonna like pop the broad question out there. What do you guys think is necessary for a 6+ to be good? Does it have to be like a complete overhaul, a complete upgrade? Is a side grade necessary? What do you guys think? Like, what do you guys think?
I think it sort of varies from character to character though as well, right?
Mhm.
Like especially with a lot of the really old characters. And I mean, Fuji's a great example. He's really good. Like, he's very, very good. Just need to bring the characters up to speed with like what's going on in the game. What are
100%.
the sort of damage output that you're expecting from a character? What are the things you're trying to get around with specials? So yeah,
Sure.
it does depend from character to character, but they've got to make them modern.
I will quickly look up like read over V1 Fuji 6 Plus because, like, I don't know, like, it's good, but I don't think it's that wow.
The
You know what I
special
mean?
is really nice.
When Todd first sent me the specials and stuff, I thought it would have been freaking amazing. It like he would have been so much better if like because it says like after you use his special, every turn on from then he does that health cut.
That 20%. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I thought when I first read it, I misread it. I thought every single turn at the start of the turn he gave the matching orbs as well.
See
Oh,
that would have
that'd
been
be really
see,
nice.
that would have been like that would
That'd
have been
been
amazing.
really nice.
See,
Yeah.
but because of his captain ability, it wouldn't even have been broken. It because like, for example, like he might have given himself orbs, but then there could be characters that use orb interrupt, like special
Yeah.
interrupt like that.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't even be that broken. It just would have been it's like, oh, cool, okay, like it would have made him like that little bit better.
So
Well,
quickly, just to
sure.
jump into him real quick. So his captain boost driven characters HP by 1.5, and then this is limit break captain as well. Sorry. So just as a preface, driven HP by 1.5, boost the attack of driven characters by 4 times if they have a beneficial orb, 3.25 times otherwise, and makes tandem and recovery orbs beneficial for driven characters. At the start of the fight, this character activates their own special. So that kind of is essentially like Kaido. So at the start of the fight, Kaido activates his special, and then you get that massive AoE damage. Now, basically, what Fuji does, and his special being cuts the current HP of each enemy, so this is still an AoE HP cut by 20%, and changes all colored orbs into matching orbs, and then continues to cut that HP at the end of every turn. So, first of all, like the first impression that I got was like, he's really good because it gets around resilience completely. You know what I mean? So a lot of content that tries to hinder you by adding this resilience, you might think, oh, okay, maybe I need to bring a resilience reducer or complete remover in general. Having something like this, having a special like Kaido's, having a special like the recent global Kizuna Magellan, or having now V1 Fuji 6 Plus allows you to basically negate a complete a debuff essentially in that. But I don't know, like I don't think I think it's like does him not being like amazing still like not make him a good character or not make it a good 6 plus though?
I actually did think that he gave matching orbs at the beginning of every turn after you activate the special. It's kind of disappointing to hear that it's not the case. Because that wouldn't have been that broken, but it would have been very nice.
All it says is it cuts the current HP of each enemy by 20% at the end of the turn for 99 plus turns. So
Yeah,
the whole thing. So like the thing that like kind of bothered me a lot is that it's still only a 4 times captain. Like,
but again, it does bring him
like
up to speed though.
Yes, but
Yeah,
like
because I mean,
the issue that I find with it though is that he's up to speed, yes, but like he's still behind. Like obviously you wouldn't expect him to be what it essentially means is like being like a 4x captain doesn't keep up pace, with JP's current characters that have been released, things like Mihawk Perona, even like probably one of the best units in the game currently, Shanks crew, and then the potential 6 Annie Legend as well. Overall, like it's nothing spectacular in my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he suffers from a similar thing that Kaido does in that, he's really good for his captain ability, but that leaves him with like a pretty useless special, to be honest, for the most
He
part.
can't be used like he can be used as a sub, but like wasn't V1 Fuji like regular, like 3 turns of 20% HP?
Yeah.
So, like,
Nice.
doesn't it so how like obviously we'll find out, but like do you guys think that it's going to work like if he's a sub and you activate the special, it's going to just be every turn after you activate that special? Or
Yeah, I think so, and that'll be pretty useful for a lot of things, I think. But I think a lot of
I
harder
can
content
see
will
right
find a way
now.
around that.
And it does note that his damage does not stack with other end of turn abilities. So if you activate his, you won't be able to activate Kaido's, you won't be able to activate, Colo Kids or
Really? Okay,
any of those. So like you can only have one end of turn damage dealer. So you have to really think like because like I know for a fact that V1 Fuji is very good in Kizuna. It's a very like useful unit to have when it comes to like, with the infinite teams a lot of the time, where you're able to just stall out for a long time by using his special and cutting a lot of HP off. So like, but I guess that kind of begs the question, like, what is necessary for a 6+ unit to actually be good though? Looking at a lot of like, for example, like picking up a unit kind of like the recent Lucy 6+, not a lot really changes with that unit. But do you guys think that like a unit like Lucy 6+ is considered good, or do you think it's just an average upgrade? Or
well, I think he's good, but it helps that the fact that Lucy 6-star is still good and still relevant. So to measure how good a 6+ is, it'd be stuff like how does it compare to the like how well does it fit in with the current meta, and like how well does it synergize with the newest legend, or how does it stand out in any way, shape, or form, whether it be special or captain ability? You know what I mean? Like if it's something different and something refreshing, like yeah.
Do you think like the 6+, like a 6+ unit, like, because obviously like that definitely like you're comparing a 6+ unit to the current meta, like right now the meta
not do that.
Right now the meta is like 4 times captains is basically like if you're below a 4 times captain, like you're not keeping up.
Yeah, if you're below a 4 times captain, your special has to be the thing that
fantastic,
keeps you in the running.
100%, right? So like, do you think like on top of that though, like we had like I feel like the overhaul of like V1 Cutter is fantastic. I feel like he's so much better than his previous one.
And the thing is, like if you've even got a reason. It's like it's close. It's more of a side grade because you've even got a reason to keep an unevolved one.
Do you guys prefer side grades, upgrades?
I like the fact that there's both because there's some units I want to have a side grade of. I'm happy to have the side grade and happy to keep its unevolved form, but there's stuff like that the upgrade's just needed. Like, 100%. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Especially with an older legend. Like a lot of older legends that got 6+s early on, like they're useless now.
Yeah, exactly. Like Boa and V1 Whitebeard before PvP and.
But even like thinking about it though, like surely, like obviously, like to what extent do you think Bandai has a roadmap planned for the game? You know what I mean?
That far, like they've obviously got a roadmap plan for it, but I don't think they've thought like so much into the fact about
from Nekomamushi V1 to Shanks crew. That's way too far.
Yeah, exactly.
Of a distance.
It's gone to the point where they're like, we're so far into the game. Like, I don't think they're thinking so much about the really old legends. The thing is, they need to either make them better in some way, shape, or form. I don't know how they could, or they need to stop making those legends available in the pool.
Yep. For sure. I think like that conversation always comes up though, like what should they do with old legends? And I think like it's still an ongoing discussion until something happens, obviously. I think like for me personally, looking at it in a sense, like they've made steps in order to actually like improve how like the rate you get older legends by, with the current JP Sugos, the guaranteed red on the 11th is generally from a particular pool of legends, So you're not going to get the older legends only if you get a non-guaranteed red, for the most part on the Sugos at least, right? But like,
take it a step further. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, no, continue. Go for it.
Well, so I mean, we always talk about taking old legends out of the pool, but I think we need to take a lot of old rare recruits out of the pool. Like, when was the last time you wanted to pull like the DeCalvin brothers? Those are totally useless.
Yeah, okay. They should probably, if anything, they should just approach it like batches. They should take older batches. They should have they should do what they do like with should do like polls, like what character we're looking at removing some characters. What are some characters that you think that we don't need to
in the game anymore?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I think like that's definitely a good approach, but I feel like just like you said, just removing a batch, like no one's gonna be crying over removing like the first like 10 batches in the game. You know what I mean? When you really think about it, a lot of those units not necessarily are obsolete, but like they're not as used. Like obviously, like with the recent like V1 Shanks limit break key, sorry. He's amazing. Like he's a fantastic Psy captain. And obviously with the whole idea of super typing coming out and the new like type meta approaching where like type teams are gonna become more prevalent in the game. Like that's great and all, but like I'm sure later down the line they're gonna release an even better Psy captain than V1 Shanks. Like it's hard because rather like this whole idea of removing things from the pool means that they have to think of another idea to make sure that you can get the units in some way. Because if you're starting a new account, or if you're taking someone's old account, or you're refarming, or you're doing something you haven't played in a while, for example, there needs to be a way for you to get those units again. Because like maybe people want it for like collection purposes. I know a lot of people play the game for collection purposes and stuff as well. So that's very important. But
they could easily introduce another method to doing it, like whether it be like buying, like, so for example, you save up Ray points and it's like, okay, you buy this and you can buy 10 gold tickets for so many Ray points and that'll include these 3 batches. You know what I mean? It could be any of these 3 or 4 batches.
I think like it'd be really interesting if they like, I don't know if you guys are like how well versed you guys are in like the 7DS, like how they structure a lot of their like things and stuff.
No
but
clue.
so the way it works, like if you get a dupe of something, you get a coin of like that grade. So if you get like an SSR, which is basically a legend, you get a rainbow coin, you get a gold coin, you get a silver, you get a silver coin, right? And you can use those coins to buy other units, and you can also use those coins to purchase in-game items like stamina potions and things like that let you keep farming and upgrading your current units, you know? And then you can also use those coins to upgrade the ultimate abilities, which makes the unit stronger in general, right? Imagine if they implemented a system where, you know, rather than it being Ray points, you can like buy like another ticket system, another point system, some alternate system that doesn't require you to spend like, because for the most part, Ray points are generally only gotten via spending gems. Like obviously, you can sell all your bloody raid units and stuff like that, and that's going to take you a while to get up to. You know, some people have millions of Ray points now, but like,
I feel like though that takes away the choice for people to be like, do I sell to the raid shop? Do I use for limit break? Do I use for specials? Do I use for sockets with the dupes?
It's a fine line though. Like with
The thing is, they could also introduce them to friend point pools. Not so much the legends, but like the
regular rare recruits,
the regular rare recruits that are like obsolete, that people. So like it's the point that where people just want to pull them for obviously collection purposes.
Yeah,
you know what I
mean? Rainbowing out a rare recruit and such. But like
they need to overhaul that.
I guess again though, that does come privy to the question of like what's going to happen with. Obviously, we'll talk about PvP later on in the episode, but like just as a sneak peek, pretty much a lot of old units are seeing a lot of play. You know, so like, is that kind of like their safety net to say, you know, like V1 Whitebeard, you know, you haven't used him any content in the last 4 years, but like he's quite good in PvP. Is that kind of their saving grace to say the older units are now really good?
Yeah, but you also got to think like about the power creep as well with like the new stuff that'll be coming out. It's like how he's really good now, but like is he going to be really good
a month later? A month later, PvP units come out, and
then when there's a whole slew of new batches out that have been made for this new content.
It's very true. Like it's a hard line because I feel like One Piece Treasure Cruise does power creep quite well. Like I think people would kind of call that as pretty much like a heinous kind of statement, but like I feel like they do, like, you know, like if you think about it, like Luffy Law is the best legend in global, right? But it's also like pretty much the best legend in JP still. Like it's kind of followed a trend where like they do release one crazy legend, and obviously with 6 Annie coming up, we can expect, I mean, pray to God, right, that the legend that comes out in 6 Annie is going to be the next meta, you know, and you can expect that to occur. But for the most part, power creep is taken really well, so we can only hope that with the idea of like PvP batches coming out, and now we have Kizuna batches or Kizuna units, and you have TM units, and you have Blitz units. You know, you can only hope that with every batch that significantly like that comes out, they continue to bring up the rear, you know, of like all the older units and keep saying, okay, limit break key, they can do this now. Oh, we've like hopefully, like I would just love to see a way that you could upgrade their captain ability specifically, you know, because a lot of or their special even, or like another upgrade system that does that doesn't require a lot of like maybe a free to play upgrade system that doesn't require a lot of investment, because obviously limit break pretty much requires money. to get like obviously you can if you get lucky pulling tickets and blah blah blah. We can always relate back to that situation where like you can get lucky and rainbow out units by tablets and such. But for the most part, if you want to rainbow something, it's going to require a lot of gem input to do that.
Yeah.
If there was a system where like you could farm, because I'm sure like everyone that plays this game is aware of the grind. You have to farm a lot to get to where you need to be in the game.
Especially if you want to be free to play, you have to grind.
You do. So if only there was like, I reckon a free to play upgrade system that would allow people to upgrade captain abilities, to allow them to upgrade specials and such, would be more beneficial than just saying limit break 2, and then you need more limit break materials, and you need keys from rankings and this that kind of negate a lot of the player base to the point where people can't do stuff.
Though with the introduction of PvP,
Oh, hello, Todd. How you going?
rainbowing characters is going to be very important, though.
It is,
Yeah,
though.
exactly.
But like it's but like what Dill was saying is like those older units are good now, but like in 6 months' time, do you think people are going to still be using V1 Whitebeard? Probably not.
Mm.
Unless the meta stays around, whatever. I don't even know what it does, but I know it's good.
I mean,
like,
yeah, 23-second cooldown for a 50% health cut essentially is pretty good.
So I think for the most part, like it kind of the ball is obviously going to always stay in their court, but like for the most part, you kind of hope that they will generate like characters that are obviously going to make them money, but at the same time they're going to continue to say V1 Whitebeard's useful. You can use V1 Boa again. You can use Saba. You can use Usopp and such as well. So
You have to find a balance between what's fair and what's fun, and I suppose that's the hard thing to do for them. But PvP so far has shown that it's not too bad. The old legends are pretty decent.
And I suppose that the meta could change depending on what's boosted on prelims as well.
That is true with the whole rule system and stuff as well.
And when people start figuring out gimmicks, that meta will shift very quickly.
Mm-hmm. You just hope that they've like I don't think like many game companies really have like I'm sure people didn't like Ben. I didn't expect the level of grind that happens on JP when it comes to farming TM and how people figure out speed teams and clearing content in like 35-40 seconds and such. I'm sure they didn't really like expect that, but on the contrary, they definitely do introduce that idea of like, we're going to make this content around this unit, but there are obviously other units that do the same thing as this unit that you could use and allow you to clear that content as well.
Another thing as well is like yeah, we need the free to play characters to actually continue to get better as well.
Mm-hmm.
And not only just for generic play, but also for PvP. Because what we've seen so far is like everyone's running like legends, whereas like we haven't seen too many generic rare recruits so far that have shown to be on that same level.
I feel like a lot of time rare recruits do get shafted, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
like a lot of the time people will have rare recruits and the rare recruits will clear the content that their batch is made for, and then after that you have to go out of your way to find situations where you would use those rare recruits.
Yeah,
again.
like most of the time it's like a team full of legends and like high tier free to play units.
Yeah, a lot of times
Pretty
it's
much.
raid units or like colos or
ambush units. Yeah.
Exactly. A lot of the time those teams are built around that, and like for the most part, sure, but they really do need a way to make rare recruits useful. That sounds so dumb, but like continue to make rare recruits useful. And I think like
there are exceptions there, but like most of them I do feel they're just kind of meh.
So like you can't limit break plus rare recruits yet, no?
No, you can.
You can.
The fuck?
Yeah.
Who has limit break plus? No, I'm so dumb. There's plenty of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those ones do. That's right. Because they all got like the ship bind. Where the fuck's the ship bind stuff at?
Yeah,
it's on Ray Bonnie so far.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
Damn. What's the other one? The Sailor Despair.
Yeah.
Well.
That's also on Bonnie. No, I think that's on Bonnie, and the ship Despair is on something else. I forget which one.
I really thought that they would like those limit break things would be used for PvP. I don't know why. I always held that idea that like you're introducing ship bind in this like some way it's gonna have to be incorporated with PvP, but no, they just completely shifted that.
So bizarre that they'd introduced 2 new abilities and they're pretty much pointless.
That is like for the little bit of content that comes out for it, and that's about it.
Yeah, very, very odd.
what do you guys think about 5+ing? Like, not just like, I think like obviously like 5+ing raids. I think that's just been a conversation that's happened a lot of times, and everyone, I think for the most part, everyone's kind of for it. You know, because a raid gets an upgrade, it's a free to play unit, it becomes more useful, like more create around the meta. But what do you guys think about like giving more rare recruits the ability to actually be like 5+, and rather than it being like, you know, like the German kids where it's like you have to keep 2 copies, one regular, one because they do different things. Excuse me, it's just like a straight upgrade as a 5+.
Yeah. Like even look at some of the first batches, like the Whitebeard Pirates or like the first Supernova characters. Just release an island where you can farm skulls for them and then make them OP. Like,
and then
top
make
tier
it like
recruits.
make it like a batch skull.
Yeah.
So you don't have to get like, you don't have to get 5 to Calvin Brothers skulls. You don't have to get 5
Yeah.
to Whitey. Just make it like Whitebeard Pirates batch skulls. So if you get 20 of them, then you can 5+4 units.
The other thing
You
I
know.
can think there is like that doesn't really get Bandai any money. So you're gonna have to introduce something with that.
So that's the only like the caveat to everything at the end of the day. Is
Yeah.
like it has to come around with, you know, like everyone's always like, oh, this 6+ should come up with this Sugo Fest because it's themed properly. It's like, that's true, but giving a unit a 6+ generates no revenue whatsoever. For the most part, at least. Like, obviously,
I mean,
like
the
Some
6+
Sugo.
Yeah.
yeah, I was about to say, like with the current Sugos, like what was it? You could get V1 Cutter in 4 multis, you get Nami, Robin in 5 multis, and then with Fuji on JP, I believe it's 3 multis for Fuji. Which is like great, honestly. 3 multis for Fuji is like quite a great exchange in the long term for sure. And I think it's good though because introducing like coming all the way back to like old legends and how to like add them to the game. You know, having the fact that like people that haven't got those legends, and giving people the option to be able to pull them in like 3 multis just to guarantee that they get that legend. Honestly, in my opinion, is a great idea. Like being able to pull Fuji in 3 multis if you don't have it, I think I would honestly say like it's definitely worthwhile. He's gonna be a unit that's gonna be useful.
No one's going to go out of their way when he's, you know, boosted on part 2 of a Sugo Fest. No one's going out of their way to try and pull him.
Pull that.
So just having him there, 3 multis,
But
you know,
then
get in,
again,
get out.
Like we are like less than 2 weeks away from the 6th anniversary, so
Exactly. So
9 days away, dude.
oh,
Holy
man, I
shit.
can't wait.
I didn't mention as well that at the end we'll be giving our final predictions before 6 Annie drops, and then we will also, and then the next episode will be basically more or less during 6 Annie as well. So we'll be able to give you our thoughts and opinions on everything else. So we'll go from that after everything, and we'll wrap it up like that. But maybe looking back onto actually just 6+ing in general. Do you think like it's kind of odd to say, but do you think like older units like, you know, V1 Gear 4 and like you know, a Strength Lucci, do you think those 6+s should get reworked somehow? Because like when you look at it, like they're not good. When you really break it down.
I've always been campaigning for branched super evolutions. I would love that. So like if you get a base form of the character, regular 6-star, you just make him evolve with a different colored skull to a new character.
And they could do that as well, because you can always devolve your characters as well. So you can devolve and then go to the next
See, the
path.
collectionist inside me though would be like, okay, I'm gonna have one of each.
No, not even the collection.
But I mean, like
you
hypothetically,
would need one of each.
But like in a situation where it's like, you know, you got V1 Whitebeard who's basically never used, and it's like if he gets a new super evolution and he's really good, like I'm gonna devolve that Whitebeard and then
that
evolve the next one. And then like if I get another one down the line, well there he can evolve
and
again.
You gotta keep in mind as well that there's probably a tier of players who would probably enjoy using that Gear 4 at the moment. Like maybe for the content that their level is currently tackling, he's really
100%.
good.
100%. But like, I feel like would we really go to 6++?
I really hope not. I really hope not.
For whatever reason, we have a fucking 5+ in the game, and I don't understand.
We have a 4+ in the game, bro. That's crazy.
We got 4+.
Just the fact we have a 4+ is dumb, you know?
Honestly, if they went to 7-star,
maybe.
I know that's pushing it a little bit.
I think 7-star is fine. Honestly, I think
makes more sense than 6+. They should have gone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They should have done 7-star and then gone to 7+ if they really wanted to go that far.
I think like 6. I reckon like that's where you make the separation, right? it's like in Dokkan, you have like the SSRs and the TURs and stuff that are great units, but then you have the LR, and the LR is like, wow, this is the big boy. And like, for example, in 7DS, they've recently released an LR unit, the first one of its kind in the game, and that unit is leaps and bounds above everything else in the game. You know, so if they had kept like, okay, legends are like cringe cliche shit. What if it was a rainbow poster, for example, and that was like an LR, that was a 7-star? You knew that if you had this unit, like it could do. It was like pretty much the best unit in the game, hands down, flat. That
would be just so annoying because like legends are already so hard to pull in the first place, and then you're gonna add that. It's like, bruh.
I'd be more of the mindset that you're not pulling for 7 stars. You take your 6-star, you level them up. Maybe there's a process that you have to go through.
See, like the process could be like, so it could be like, yeah, you get your 5-star, you evolve it to a 6-star, so it's usable, it can clear content. Obviously, like it's basically like the legends we have now, but if they want to keep going further than that, they go, okay, 6+ is like the transition into 7-star. You know what I mean?
I agree
that's
with
what I'm saying.
And and then I guess like you'd have to implement some sort of monetary system to that, though.
Or even have like missions that you have to complete with the character. Like
that's a good idea.
That's very much reminiscent of Pokemon Masters. You have to clear. You have to battle against yourself to evolve your Pokemon.
Yeah.
So
just to add another dimension to it. Yeah,
because that way you have to clear a thing with like that legend or that unit as the captain has to be the captain, and your team has to be built around that.
Yeah. I love it.
Because that would be really hard for units that aren't exactly built to be captains.
And the thing is, if it's just like, maybe it's like, use this character 50 times in a quest as a captain, like even for like really low level players, they could still do it on really easy content.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's a great idea. That is such a good idea. Yeah, I love it.
Like, or even breaking it down to the point where it's like another limit break thing, right? Where it's just material based. Like you get your character to max limit break 2, we'll call it, for example, and then it has the option to evolve into a 7-star. Just some sort of system that would take, Gear 4 V1 from a 6+ to a 7-star, and then it becomes fucking amazing for that time period in the game.
I just like, in my head, I like the idea of giving players the challenge of, you've got to use V1 Whitebeard to beat X amount of raids or this certain raid or piece of content.
I think
then you were rewarded with like V1 Whitebeard goes to 7-star and all
you get the option
really
to evolve now, and then like just to monetize it, because obviously you have to, right? It's a lot of like expensive materials, for example, things that are very rare and don't drop often, or like, you have to farm a raid, like it's like a 1 in 1,000 chance, or some crazy metric like that. Makes it. You're gonna do 1,000 runs, Joe. I know you're clown ass, bro. You'll do it anyway.
Man, did you ever farm that like 1 VV in story mode? Fuck that shit, man. That's like so many runs.
That just reminds me like so much of like when the Red Skulls first came out on Ambush Whitebeard and how hard they were to get.
They were terrible.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I feel like I did about 1,000 runs just to get one.
But see, like, I think that way it's like, I feel like, maybe have the mission be like, okay, you have to clear the mission with this is your captain, that's a restriction, and then the material to get that unit to a 7-star drops on that mission.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
That'd be pretty fun.
But then
it's got to be challenging
with
but
that
rewarding.
captain though. You can only clear with like, okay, Whitebeard 7-star drops, right? Oh shit, all right. The captain has to be Whitebeard, like V1 Whitebeard 6+, and then maybe you could even make it even more challenging for the player, and then like theme the units. Okay,
they can only use Whitebeard pirates as the crew.
Or units that appeared in Marine Forward, or like things like that, where like the game obviously is aware, so it'll highlight units that you can use, like, and then make it around that.
Or just like make it so that they need 5 of these materials to evolve, and there's 5 different missions. Maybe like one time use it as a captain, use it as a sub, use it as a support, and you do something else, and then the last mission could unlock an island, and you have to use it as a captain to clear it, or something like that.
The last one could be like you can't even use him on your team, for example, like
some crazy stuff like that.
I just like the idea of that as a reward, but mix it up from the whole collect the materials, spend the materials, collect the new material, spend the new material.
I just don't like the Skull Islands. I think that's such a cop out.
No, dude, the Skull Islands suck.
Skull Islands suck, and the thing is, like with the Skull Islands, the drop rate is shit.
And if you don't farm it the first time around, you have to go spend
Yeah,
3
you-
gems to.
Dude, and like the one that comes to mind immediately is the friggin' Germa one.
Oh, they
oh
suck.
my
That
god.
one
They're
was
the
terrible.
worst.
I had 30 Reiju skulls before I got my last Ishiji one.
I think I was about to say more or less with one of
Yeah.
the units. Like I had an exorbitant amount of one, and the thing is, you can't do anything. Like, what if, for example, as well, like you got like 30 skulls of Reiju, right? Maybe you could trade those in.
Yeah, can I trade 10 in for one of the other ones?
Something, like just a trade system where like, oh, I don't have enough red turtles, right? Let me exchange some of my green turtles and they turn to red turtles. Even if the exchange rate was like 2-1, for example, so you didn't get an even ratio trade. At least some sort of a system where like I don't have to go and farm more stuff. I can just exchange things that I already have.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think
Turtles
for
relevant
me
again.
that
Like turtles, you can't even use turtles anymore. Like
To
I
make
just have
XP
turtles stacking
relevant.
up because I'm like, I've got so many of the bloody lobsters now, and they give so much more XP.
100%.
I think like they thought about it before because you can sell skulls for a single ray point, so it's not like they didn't,
They
think about
have
the fact
they
they don't
had
need them.
something. Yeah, they knew that people would get more than they needed.
yeah,
And they've implemented something, but like or even like the color of the skull breaks down the limit break materials of that color. You know what I mean? At least some sort of trade off to I'm farming this event really hard, and I've got like for some reason I have 20 extra skulls laying around. I can trade those extra skulls in and get
Yeah.
something from it.
and that
you
could
know?
fix a
I feel
problem that
like-
I have where the two systems in the game that overhaul's not the right word. They need to be fleshed out more. Is the Rayleigh's Bazaar and the friend points just in general?
So much. Rayleigh's Bazaar in particular. Like, and on that as well, we should mention that the new ticket did come out.
Yes,
70K,
there's finally
and that is
something new.
That is a fantastic ticket. If you have 70k ray points and you're missing a good chunk of the, or even
It's
whatever it
basically a
is,
guaranteed top tier legend.
top tier
Yeah,
legend. You're literally-
basically.
no matter what you pull, it's gonna be good. You know what I mean? Like I think Knight pulled fucking Kaido again, which is hilarious because he pulled Kaido the first time from a ticket, which is funny as. But like imagine you spend 70k ray points, you get Kaido. Like that's fantastic. Like that's it's a step in the right direction, but it needs to go further. There needs to be more to Rayleigh's Bazaar that allows you to
I
really
would love
look
a
into
system
it.
very similar to like Seven Deadly Sins, where you
No,
get like a dupe
the best
SSR,
system.
and you get like 5 of those coins. You can buy, or 7 of those coins. You could buy like a basically another legend, right?
Another legend. Yeah.
So imagine if like you pull 7 dupe reds and you exchange one of those reds for like another red. But the thing is like at the start they'd probably only have like V1 Whitebeard, maybe V1 Rayleigh, which would be a good one to pick up. V1 Boa, Sengoku, stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%. Like I'd definitely trade in like 30 Sengokus and pick up.
And then by doing that,
Rayleigh.
maybe perhaps the characters that go in that exchange shop, remove them from the generic pool of Sugos.
It has to be there has to be some system to allow the players to remove the units from the generic pool, or just even like make Sugos way more restricted. Have only these units are boosted and only those units as well.
Yeah.
Not like
That's what Japan were doing, right?
they did that
Some Sugos have it.
recently, like where only one unit was boosted. No, wasn't it? It was a recent like global Sugo Fest as well. But I think
Yeah,
it was
the
limited
Caesar.
rare recruit Caesar. He was the only boosted unit, which in it itself is actually like great. Because
Yeah.
like that his rate's going to be higher than everyone else,
And
in
his rates
theory.
were good. Like a lot of people got him in the first 2 multis at least.
Yeah.
So like if they had just done it, like even like it happens on Dokkan as well, where like you go into a banner and like there's only like a handful of SSRs that are available for you to actually pick up. You can't get not the whole pool is available. Only like 20 of them, for example, out of the whole pool.
Oh yeah, like for Dokkan Fest, like basically legend counterparts, like the actual characters that are exclusive to the festivals, like they only have 8 of them available per banner, basically.
Like, imagine like you go into a Sugo Fest and it says these 10 legends are the only legends you can pull from this Sugo Fest. You'd be a lot more inclined to spend money if you were missing like 3 of those legends even.
Yeah, but at the same point as well, it's like you don't, after you get one copy of the character, you don't need dupes, which in Dokkan, getting dupes is so valuable. So it's a bit different.
Yeah. Well, like now dupes have a little bit more value with PvP's like power system and stuff, but
Well, that's another thing as well. It's kind of disappointing that dupes don't have anything to do with PvP.
That's true.
Yeah, I feel like that's a little bit of a cop out. I feel like they should have done something. Oh well.
Do you think they could have incorporated some sort of way to introduce a unit's like PvP? Like limit break ability into like their PvP stuff?
On the other hand, it is kind of good because that's like a little bit less pay to win.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, I suppose I'm looking at that the wrong mindset. I suppose
we're looking at it.
We just say that because we're swimming in dupes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. That's a very fair point.
Okay, speaking of units, though, let's have a look at that unit usage list. That Japan 6th.
We went over this last week.
We didn't get time.
Very briefly, yeah.
We kind of talked about it a little bit. We didn't get time. Did we? I don't think we did. I think we cut it out. We definitely cut it out. I'm fairly sure.
Either way, we can go through it again. I don't care.
Well, the way that it is structured is kind of odd. So if you scroll down to towards the bottom of the website, it has 4 different ranking categories, right? So the first one, which is number 4, which as it is the most used dual units, and they have numbers and they're fucking crazy, but that's fine. Number 1 is Marco Whitebeard, 2 is Luffy Ace, 3 is Luffy Law. So top 3, quite expected.
The fact Luffy Ace is kind of crazy to be high.
I mean, Luffy Ace was the first dual units and was crazy for its time. So
Whitebeard and Marco, I think, isn't that much of a surprise.
No. Luffy Law being up there makes sense. And then underneath that is Smoothing Oven, which isn't that much of a surprise as well.
Then again, look at the difference in the numbers.
Oh, yeah. It's 34 million uses,
Yeah.
And then 5th place is actually Smoker and Tashigi, which is the rare recruit, I believe. It might be.
I've only used them twice, if that.
You use 17
rare recruit, or is it the one you get as a gift?
It says G5, so it'd be the time skip version.
I think it's the time skip one.
Because the one that you get for free is not G5.
17.6 million uses.
What do they even do? I can't even remember.
I don't know.
They change orbs into matching, basically.
What?
That's it?
Yeah, they change colored orbs and block orbs into matching with this.
That's pretty good. Hold on. That's not bad. But what case? Looking at that, what other units would you guys have expected to be up there? This is the JP you have to keep in mind as well.
Units.
Yeah. What
wait, did you say?
What's their names? What are they called?
Cavendish.
Yeah.
Smoothie Oven.
They're 4.
They're 4. I think Oven's in there.
Joba, you
wake up, Joba.
Dude, I'm sorry. I was looking at the. I didn't listen to the list.
I wrote it. It's on the plan.
All right, let me go look before I open my mouth again.
Oh my god! I would have thought Vivi Rebecca would have been on there.
Yeah.
True, actually. Hold on.
I expected Luffy Law to be slightly higher. That's the only change.
Saba Koala, I'd thought as well.
Saba Koala is actually a very good shout.
True.
Saba Koala is a very good
Saba
shout.
Koala came out just after Luffy Law, so that means that they have less than 70 million users in comparison. That's crazy.
See, that's scary to think about. Saba Koala has less than 70 million users.
A lot.
I would love to see if they do this for global. Honestly, it'd be really interesting.
I think ours would be different.
Oh, man died. Cobb.
Yo.
Oh, he's alive.
Repeat what
no, I'm alive.
Repeat what you said.
Sorry. I think for the global version, ours would be slightly different in terms of usage rates. I think Saba Koala would be much higher.
Yep.
I also think that Luffy Law would be slightly higher. I think Wako would still be. I think Wako would still be number 1.
I think Wako would still be number 1 as well.
Yeah.
I
definitely think Wako's number 1.
Stall meta. I think people love the fact that Wako's very very hard to die with Wako because you just keep on healing a lot.
And I suppose because they are technically rainbow captains too.
Yeah, I hate the storm method, but that's just me. I like fast teams.
Man likes speed.
But yeah, he can clear basically everything.
Everything more or less, yeah. And he's not a restricted Psy captain. They just don't get as high of a boost.
Yeah,
right?
they don't get it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 3x rainbow.
People forget about that.
Dude, imagine 6+ Whitebeard Marco goes 3.5 rainbow, but 4.5 or some shit.
We got to get 6+ Luffy Ace first.
Who the fuck are they? Who the hell is Ace? Ace is dead. What the hell is going on there?
We gotta
You'll turn into 6+ Luffy Sabo.
But then again,
Ooh.
like when you really think about it, the dual units that us players will use are a lot different from, I guess, the majority.
We're very much endgame
Because
players.
like I think, because I use like more recently, I've been using heaps of Sanji Judge, heaps of Cat Dog, like those characters.
I use Cat Dog, Saber Koala. I use a lot.
Yeah,
Vivi Rebecca. I use.
I think
often as
that
I
list
can.
will have Vivi, Rebecca, and Saba Koala up a lot higher. A
yeah.
lot higher, at least. Like, I don't think, like, potentially Smoothie Oven, because Smoothie Oven's a fantastic, like, unit to use in TM a lot of the
They're
time.
like the best Fortnite unit too.
All right. Going on from
Yeah.
there, this is the most cleared Coliseum unit, like Coliseum fights. First is Lady Alvida,
Which is surprising.
which
This is
shocked
very
me.
surprising.
We'll get into that. Second is Lucy.
Understandable.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Third is Rebecca. Understandable because it was the first Colo
The
unit.
very first one, yeah.
Fourth is Cobby. Cobby, what's up, man? How you doing, bud? But
Hey,
Kobe's up there. And
He
then
was
it's
actually pretty
Hina.
good.
Hina is
all
fifth.
team unit.
That it's a Dex unit, isn't it? The Hina?
Yeah, she's really
Yeah.
bad. She does like multiple hits of damage and stuff.
Pog. That's
She's
the
like a
best.
1.3 orb or attack boost. Or
Let's
something.
go,
Yeah.
dude.
She's
Oh,
trash.
this one. Why the hell is she up there?
2
Yeah.
I
million.
don't know.
Eight hits
I
of
mean,
random
Alvida,
Dex
I
that
have no idea.
hit.
Hina's one of the best girls in One Piece. So
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Oh,
it's not time for
Todd,
that.
shut up. Get out of this place.
she's a
Oh,
1.1
God.
attack booster for all characters for 3 turns.
That's
Um,
3
Ooh.
turns.
Just like how is Coliseum Kid not in there?
He's
Yeah,
hard
because no one farms them.
because all these Coliseums are easy.
No,
Yeah.
that joke, bro. Joba, good joke, man. Good joke. Dude.
I told only because I'm laying down. I'm telling you.
Okay, well, just to let you guys know, Joba is laying down. He's told us many times that he's laying down.
If
Oh,
everybody
wait,
in this
that-
podcast is following my Twitter, I put it out there.
I forgot that the explanation of this was like cut out initially.
Yeah.
But Alvida, like, what the hell? Like 3.8 mil, so 400,000 more times than Lucy.
She's that's fucking weird.
It's such a weird, like, I would have expected, like, maybe Alvida was easy to farm for XP.
Maybe.
Alvida was-
Or for
Fortnite.
Combs back in the day, but I don't know why Rebecca wouldn't be higher.
Rebecca, because the tome rate was definitely low as hell for like old colos.
It still
like-
is kind of low to get tomes. I feel most of the time
Yeah.
you're getting candy.
Yeah,
Lucy makes
I don't
sense
know.
because he was really good. Kobe was pretty good at the time.
Kirby was used in that V1 Fuji
I
team.
mean, yeah, he was actually decent.
that
Yeah.
Lucy's incredible. That's
Lucy, I
that
think.
Oh
is
yeah,
really good.
that Lucy is
And
actually an incredible unit.
Wasn't there an
100%.
extended period of time where like Lucy was basically permanently available?
Yes, there was.
Yeah,
After
like in the
After
Coliseum.
Legend's release.
Yeah,
I feel like that Alvida was available a lot as well, though. So
That
that
might have
might be
been
why
just
she's up high.
I just like.
Fuck,
I
JP bugging, bro.
I feel like it's XP farming because I feel like if they went half stam on global, on Colo, excuse me, means that that Alvida would have been 30 stam for double, right? The XP that gets generated from that is more than farming a fortnight or something like that, and it might have been quick. So who knows?
Yeah.
like, I would have thought like even like Coliseum Kinemon would have been up there.
That's what I was gonna say. Colo Kinemon is maybe people. I mean, like after that, like you kind of farm it for the unit and then you don't ever touch it. I mean, like, for the most part, it's everything, right? But like,
And that was later, right? That was like the 50 stamina Coliseums. Those were a bit harder for people.
Oh,
at
he was
the
the
time.
first 50 Sam, wasn't he?
yeah, it was
Yeah.
expensive.
On Japan at least. Yeah.
That was expensive though, like 50 stam's a lot for like, for the general player base. So player, gee, the
Player base.
Yeah, but then again, Lucy's a 50 stamina as well.
That's true.
Yeah. Ours
But I
was
think
ours was Chinja for some damn reason. The first one. That was random. Anyway.
that is
Actually, someone might have to refresh my memory here. Did we have double stamina for Alvida and Rebecca Coliseum?
No.
no.
Could that be why they farm more? I don't know. I'm just spitballing
Because
here.
I still feel like double, because from all we know, including Troublemare missions and stuff, double stam is still considered one run.
Okay, well,
Yeah, that's true.
You also have to farm it like
I tried. Okay.
Yeah, but that would mean that if there is no double stamina, people would farm it more.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that was my guess.
yeah.
I just
Alright.
can't justify it
Like
any
you
other
think,
way.
like even like Coliseum Neko, like he'd be up there, I'd think, but he's a difficult Coliseum for most. I
Yeah,
would
but that Neko is actually fantastic.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
he's a
it's
god tier 3 unit.
fantastic unit. He's
Yeah.
so good.
Same
you
with the NL.
Yeah, NL, good call.
Yeah, Collar NL as
Yeah.
well. What the hell? I feel like a lot of
Anyway.
those units though, because of their difficulty,
Neptune, Kuma.
because of their difficulty, people aren't going to farm them more than they need to. You know, they're not
Yeah,
going to
that's right.
farm. People might have farmed Alvita for candy,
Tomes and Candy.
Tomes and candy, so it was easy to farm. You could run like double Jack or double Neptune, rare recruit Neptune at the time, and get XP and potentially get candy drops and stuff too. So,
Fair enough.
yes, sir. From there, we go to the most cleared raids. By no stretch of the imagination, the first ones, rank 1 was Mihawk, being the first raid ever, by 19.5 million, which is insane. And then 2 was Doflamingo. So essentially, the next one, after you farm Mihawk, you farm Doffy. Or you farm Chopper in the timeline, but yeah.
Yeah, Mihawk. Yeah, because you'd farm Mihawk, then you'd farm Chopper, then you'd use Chopper to farm Dofi.
Yes. And then Doffy's
And
only
they
at
use Goku to farm
8.7.
NL.
And it was some long-winded, the OG path to glory back in the day.
Yeah,
And then,
basically.
but Doflamingo was 8.7 mil. So like Mihawk has been run more than 10 million times more than Doflamingo, which is ridiculous. I think a lot of people might just have like started playing the game, farmed Mihawk, and be like, nah.
Yeah,
You also had to farm him for some of the rookie missions as
Yeah,
well.
that is
so-
true. So he would have. That's actually a very good point. So, and then third is like, I believe this was the April Fool's Day, or like not even April Fool's Day. This is the clash that comes along with Hercules, which is the Clash Usopp. Fat Usopp is number 3 with 6.5 million clears.
I
Doesn't make
don't
sense.
get that.
yeah.
Maybe
I think it's because they watched Nick play it on the
Can
live
you get-
stream.
You can get candy from it, can't you?
yes, I think.
Yeah, I think that's why it is.
Either way, it's so stupid.
And
It's
then
dumb.
after that, you have V1 Blackbeard at
Okay,
6.2 million.
Now this one makes sense because you needed to farm this guy to farm Duval.
Oh, Duval sucks though.
Yeah, but you needed. This is the free to play train. You needed to do this stuff, man. You couldn't skip out.
Man, those are fun days. In a
And
weird way.
then number 5 was Sabo.
Sabo.
And the thing
Which
is, I don't
definitely
think
makes
many of
sense.
these clash numbers are going to change because most of the time with the more recent raids, like they're freaking so hard. You're like, no one's going to farm more than they need to. And like a
100%.
lot of the lower tier players probably won't be able to farm some of the newer shit. So like some of the more common raids that we see nowadays, like who's a really good raid that's out recently? Like Ace, for example. Like I don't think that's going to overtake any of these. No way.
Ace came out for one day, pretty much.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him ever again. Rip that
Plus,
guy.
if you're a real glue eater, you can just use like manuals, you know. And back then, you didn't even have the option.
That is true.
It's funny
Yeah.
how Job is throwing himself under the bus right now because he's a real glue eater.
Dude, it just sometimes you just can't get in the mood, you know, to farm some raids.
Okay,
So you gotta
thank
use your
for
manuals. To get,
Thank you for
I'm just
finishing
saying,
that.
man. I need to change the terminology, but you know what I'm saying. Man.
This man
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
I'm in the mood and then pause. I was like, go
Man's
on.
laying
please.
down in bed. He's
Man's
Go,
lying in
go.
bed, bro. And then, so what do you guys think for global? Do you think it's be? I reckon it'll be like the top 2 will be the same, without a
Yeah,
doubt.
agreed. I think Sabo might be up there.
Sabo will
I
be
think
up there.
Sabo will be way higher up there, to be honest.
Who
Because
else?
Sabo was like
his special was
character.
OG.
His
Man.
special was broken. And that's
And
what
that was like
so
that was
good.
like an extra like several 100,000 damage just from a
Like
special.
600k, I think it was something like,
Yeah.
like maybe around that. That's
Back
right.
then, that's
And you could
that's
like
clearing everything.
you'd literally just chuck him on a team just to get that extra
Mhm.
boost.
I'm gonna say maybe Kuma's up there.
Oh,
Because
Oh,
Kuma's very
man.
easy.
And he was
very
easy too.
Yeah, very easy and very good.
Yeah, 'cause you could stall on stage 4 like forever.
Even
Oh.
like Raid Fuji, maybe.
Raid
he's
Fuji.
been
I,
out
rem- I
years.
remember. Yeah, he's been out a lot, and he was very desirable.
Mm-hmm.
Very good unit. Even like maybe like things like Enel too. Even though the difficulty was there, but like Enel as a unit was fantastic.
Yeah.
The fact that
true.
you could heal.
I'm actually surprised Zenel's not on here because he was a great captain since you could stall.
I mean,
for
he
ages.
was very hard though to clear. Like
Yeah,
you
he
had
has, like,
you
he
had
has,
like
percent
time.
damage reduction.
He's
Yeah,
annoying.
It's like time with the
annoying.
lightning and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and like it was.
Ooh. I still
was
remember all
so
the timing methods.
I mean, nowadays he could just run Kaido.
Just run double card and run.
Yeah.
Basically, every the first 15 raids, you just run double Kaido. And you basically sprint through the game at that point. And then last, but I think, go please.
No, I'm sorry. I've been trying to see if I could just do Kaido captain with a friend Jack, just to see how many raids I can do that with. Pretty much all those raids you can do that way.
Oh,
No
absolutely.
subs. It's so easy. Kaido's the goat.
And now auto's quicker. Whoo, speeding. And then finally, last but probably one of the more important ones, most used captain. So this is different to the W units one. W units was just most used, so that can include, I think, career. I assume most used captain. Number one being the best free to play legend in the game, Legend Lucy, with 87 million.
Oh
I'm
man,
not surprised at all.
Not surprised at all. Yeah.
I think it's going to stay the same for global. There's no way that people have used. Maybe Luffy Law, maybe probably not, but
no, they haven't been out as long.
Yeah.
Plus they're slower.
That
Lucy was just a bad guy.
V1 Ray. V1 Ray, number 2 with 80 million. This doesn't surprise me either.
He was so good when he first came out.
Bro,
He was so sought after.
100%. That shit was crazy. Number 3 with 76 million is V1 Akainu.
Again, not surprised.
Not surprised.
Yeah. Considering his age.
You realize all these units so far have had a meta. Lucy had his meta. Ray had his meta.
Yeah, where's my strong base at though?
I'm kind of surprised that TS Luffy is not on here.
That's true, but the
majority of people liked Akainu more than TSL.
Way more.
I didn't get him until ages later.
I had them both during their meta, and I love TSL more.
Yeah,
really
I did as well.
I don't know. I feel like people just liked Aka because just the pure fact that even if it wasn't advantage content, you weren't clearing dex content, you would still run through.
Yeah.
Aka was brain dead. TSL you had to use it special.
You had to use your brain. You know what I mean? And then number 4 is V1 Mihawk. This is interesting.
Yeah.
That is very surprising. What the hell?
I'm fairly sure that's the V1 Mihawk. 90%.
Or is it Raid Mihawk?
There's no way that's Raid Mihawk.
I wonder if it's because
these are not top legends. These are top used.
These are top captains.
I don't know.
I wonder if that includes friend captains, because a lot of people, I've seen videos from back in the day, people using Raid Mihawk as a captain and then a friend Legend Mihawk.
I'm pretty sure it's the Raid.
Is it the Raid? All right.
Pretty sure.
All right, we'll roll with the Raid one. That makes sense then. If it's the Raid one, it makes a lot more sense than the actual.
Well, the character's name, it says Hawkeye Mihawk. That's it.
Okay, then. That's...
Is that Raid?
It is the Raid.
That is the Raid one.
Yeah, not surprised.
That one there, okay, that makes more sense. Because just the fact you had that HP cut, and if you ran 2 of them, fucking game over, bro.
Yeah, I don't know why. I would have accepted Legend Mihawk V1 as well, because once he came out,
that's special. That's special, bro.
That special was nuts.
And it was the sad fact that you could only use, because obviously both being slash, you could only use one of them. Yeah. Do you want the HP cut or do you want the the damage in the next turn? And then finally, rank 5 with 58 million is Monkey D. Luffy 5+, the free to play 5+ captain, which is a fantastic captain.
Yeah, he's so good.
He's very good but I feel like now he needs to get upgraded again. To keep up.
Now we've got the super tight straw hats.
Yeah.
He had his own era where he was the free to play captain that you would use with Legend. I don't remember what Legend you would pair him up with.
You could use V1 Akainu.
Yeah, I remember there was TM Ace was the free to play captain for a while.
Oh yeah, once TM Ace, because this guy came out prior to him. So
I think TM Ace killed him.
Yeah.
Go figure.
But we more Limit Break expansions tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes.
And they're very good.
They're all very good.
Cracker in it, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yes.
Sorry to just rail the podcast. I just saw.
Hey, just let you guys know we're doing a Limit Break expansion soon, so keep an eye out for those ones. By the way,
do Cracker.
Dude, if you have Cracker, you do it. It's fantastic.
If you don't you're key on Cracker, then you're the biggest clag eater.
You are. I'm not going to finish that sentence. But this will be very interesting when the global counterpart comes out. I feel we will see a lot of interesting. I feel like there's going to be a lot of toss-ups. I feel like
I do think they'll be different too.
I don't know.
Actually, you know what else is something that I just noticed here as well? The
What's
first one where he shows the dual units, you see that like Whitebeard and Marco has 85 million, but he's not even on the top captains list, so he's used way more as a sub.
As a sub, which is
Mhm.
very weird.
Yep. Same
So
with
that's really
that's
that's a good
true.
Wait,
Yeah.
none of those units appear in the.
yeah, well, like after Whitebeard and Marco, the rest of them don't even like
Yeah,
Luffy
they
Ace is
don't make the
59,
board.
but they're more used as a sub now, especially with like Sabo Koala.
But
Where-
more use
Where are you using Whitebeard and Marco as a sub that often though?
I don't know. You'd find
Because
a use for
is
it.
the HP cut really that?
I think he
Integral?
did the heal as well. The heals,
Run
Yeah.
V2 Akano as the captain.
True.
V2
sure,
Shanks.
sure, we'll roll with that.
That makes
don't know.
sense. V2 Shanks.
I have no idea. I mean, like,
Well,
his
these-
Twitch ability is still really OP.
Hey man, these JP players wildin', that's for sure. These are some crazy numbers though. I don't know if we're gonna reach this extent, but hey man, it'll be exciting to see when like hopefully we do get this this information that will come out for us as well.
Actually,
So,
one thing that we haven't seen from the JP 6th anniversary yet is, are they going to get that thing where, depending on how many clears you've had on your account, you get rewards?
yo, dude,
I hope they
that
get that.
that should be cool.
And how many times can you
Oh,
claim
man.
them?
Yeah.
don't.
Gem Valley V2.
No,
Yeah,
don't.
that's a forbidden topic.
That's it. That might get pushed into the taboo section that we've broken plenty of times. So I don't care anymore. You can talk about whatever you want, man. But time to get to it. PvP. It's out.
Okay, bye, boys.
All right. Dylan Joba signing off. Nightmares signing on. It's time. We're doing the switch around. Substitutes are rolling in and off the field at the moment as we speak. But PvP's out. PvP is a new game mode in the Japan version that essentially in itself could be its own game mode completely.
It's a game.
It could be its own game. Sorry, completely. It's huge. Like there's a lot of content there, a lot of units, got a lot of things, and it's a mess. Like there's a lot of things that people need to learn. But I want to go just purely first impressions. I'm gonna go around the table here real quick. Start with Cobb. What was your first impression of PvP when you actually saw it? Like
I
looked at it.
when I first saw it, because and I think in the last episode we did when we were just speculating, I was a bit nervous about it all. I didn't know how it was going to work out. I was really worried that it wouldn't be very good. But
100%.
I'm so on board with it. I'm really excited to start looking into building teams and finding out how units synergize with each other, because essentially the characters are like brand new characters. They do all sorts of different things. I'm very excited.
Mm-hmm.
Dill, what do you think? I know you're clocking out, but I still want to know what were your first impressions when it came to
So,
PvP?
unlike you boys, I've not watched. I don't know what it looks like. I haven't even seen the interface.
I didn't even
That's
watch Nightmares Vids. That's crazy.
That's how little I've I'm interested. Like, I won't start getting interested until it's within like a month of coming to global. Then I'll do like
Not
a
gonna
massive
happen, yeah.
like study session.
Yeah.
But I like the concept from what Cobby's like told me. And Todd and stuff were talking about it. It sounds pretty cool. It sounds interesting to see some of like the older units get some more usage, which is always good to see. Like there's some units that I'm interested to check out, to be honest.
Yep.
But it just to wrap it up, it's like it's a bit overwhelming.
It is definitely, that's for sure. Joba, what do you think, man?
Well, at first I was like, oh, I'm glad I have the experience of playing PvP and Dan Memo, so I kind of have a bit of an idea on how that is. I'm sure it's completely different, but that was
It's a
just
little
my
bit
first
there,
thought. It's like Dylan said, it's kind of it's a little bit overwhelming because every character does different things, which is also very exciting at the same time. But that also means
We have to learn again.
we do have an advantage that we can kind of look at JP and the way that they make teams, because they're doing it all from scratch. They've never seen this shit before, and they're just like, who knows? Maybe the teams they're using right now totally suck. They don't know what they're doing.
I mean, that's true. Though. They don't even know what they're doing, though. So like, they're kind of just building from what they can assume, but they might just be doing it completely wrong as well. So that's a really fair point. Knight, I want to preface Knight. When I asked Knight when it first dropped, this guy said meh. He said, he didn't really give a damn
He
now.
did.
But now
He said, "Man."
I want to know
Like a day
now,
later
Knight.
on Twitter, he was like, "Dude, I'm going ham."
I want to know now, Knight. What do you think about PvP, man?
It's interesting. It's really gem heavy. Like, if you really want to go for rank, like, you gotta invest quite a bit of gems. I haven't dropped any gems lately, but I know on the first day I dropped like 7 or 8.
Jeez.
Baller.
What rank are you now at the moment, just for context sake?
Right now I'm like top 2K because I like stopped caring because it's like it's long as hell. It's like 12 days. Like, come on, bro.
12 days, and you can just keep dropping gems because the
Yeah.
matches are like
Crazy.
the matches are very quick. It's not like a TM run where like on average it takes like 15 to 25 minutes per run, where you can recuperate a little bit of stamina. This is kind of just like 3 matches, pretty much 100 seconds per match. So after 5 minutes, you're done, more or less.
I'm used to spending a lot of gems on treasure map regardless. When I farm treasure map, I spend upwards of 15 gems easily.
But like you're going to be spending it much faster though.
Yeah, you
in
you can
PvP.
spend 10 gems in an hour if you just
If you
farming.
really like break it down the numbers sense, like 5 minutes for 3 runs, pretty much, and then that's your stamp for the day. If you really wanted to say that, your stamp's gone for the day. But if you drop some more gems, you can do 100 runs in a day, but you're dropping like a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Todd, what do you think, man?
I actually love it. I think it looks really, really cool. I still have my problems with it with the fact that it's not like real time PvP, but I guess that
Yeah.
would be a little bit difficult to implement. But
The server's already
Um,
sucking off, man.
it's true. It still takes freaking like 5 minutes to log in.
Log in.
Man.
But I like the fact that each character is a bit different because everyone is on the same level right now in terms of knowledge.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's going to progress as time goes on, and by the time it drops on global, we'll have way more knowledge as to who's going to be, quote unquote, the meta. So we can probably
Bullet.
do. Yeah, Bullet. Yeah, currently Bullet's looking like that guy.
That
Uh,
dude.
Yeah, but it's really interesting. I love like theory crafting different teams that are gonna, work well together with different characters. And me, Jacob, and I know you, Pappy, were all talking about it recently, and I can't wait for it to come to global.
It's
I'm gonna make a bunch of
exciting.
videos about it. I can't wait.
I haven't made a
I
Reddit
wonder how
post.
fast they're going to try and I wonder how they're going to try and if they're going to try and fast track it to global if it gets decent success on the Japanese server.
So Todd has a great theory of it potentially dropping at French Annie, and I think that that's like the more I think, I always tell Todd, the more I think about it, the more that I see that happening. The more that I see that French Annie happens, rolls around, like, and then they just say, "Hey, it's time. PvP is coming." You're like, I can definitely see that occurring, definitely. But the likelihood, probably not. But like, French Annie would be a fantastic time for them to actually to drop that thing.
Yeah.
From my perspective, I wrote a whole ass Reddit post about it, so you can tell that I was very, very into it, and there's a lot.
So you had to buy a new account.
Yes, sir. New account, boys. Was popping with it.
Amen.
That's how excited I was because I wanted to like have the opportunity to actually like play PvP and keep up with the meta, and heck, God forbid, even like run the meta. Like, it's very exciting. I think. And there's a lot to it as well. It's not just PvP. We have the resource iron that we want to discuss as well. There's the rewards. There's how you spend your tickets. There's a new upgrade system that finally we've been introduced to. There's so much happening, and I think Dill's expression really sums it up. It is overwhelming. It is overwhelming because we don't speak Japanese, so like it's hard for us to look at a unit and be like, spend 15 minutes translating what the hell they do and then learning from there. But like, it's more just like, we look at when we're farming a raid. You look at, okay, TSF has a team that uses Snake Man in these. You just pop that team and you start running it. You don't really look towards, I mean, like, not all the time, but like most of the time, you might not look towards making your own team. You kind of just take someone's team that's been built, maybe fix it up if you don't have the units, etc., and then you run the content. This, however, is crazy. There is so much going on. I think currently I've seen metas like V1 Whitebeard AoE attack meta. I've seen like run bullet in the center of your team. I've seen Knight's video on, Bluchi that just wrecks shit. I've seen Snake Man teams. I've seen Luffy Zoro teams that just run crazy. There's so many units that can do so many different things, and I'm very excited. I'm very excited and really hope that it comes soon because I'm very keen.
So, is it fair to say that there's a little bit of a like a rock paper scissors thing going on. Like there's like different kinds of teams that have advantages over others, and there's not like one team that just beats everything. You know, because if that's the case, it's boring. Because if you just wail for that one team that can beat everything, you know, there's no. I feel like there's no point in that. But if there's, you know, if you can beat some kind of teams and some teams can beat yours, that makes it a lot more fun. You know,
What
you
I've
can kind of
seen, like the PvP
develop your own
units aren't
style.
even used.
Yeah, they're so bad. I'm at
Yeah.
that Pope, bro.
The PvP units aren't even used in the actual PvP. They're not good in comparison to like other in
Legend.
comparison to legends and stuff like that. You know, so like. You know, like I mean that's fine, and I'm sure like with time they're gonna the devs are gonna actually understand what the meta is, and they're gonna build units around that. Like I'm sure eventually we'll have units that support bullet, you know, and make bullet even better of like a unit because bullet itself is a defensive god. You know what I mean? You run him on a defensive team, you'll win most of those fights.
Yeah, like we've seen themes. There's like different themes of teams that have been going around. Like there's like there's like different play styles, I suppose. Like
Mhm.
there's teams that want to try and knock your characters back. There's teams that try and crit. Teams with heaps of speed. Yeah, there's different types of themes, and I wonder how they're gonna progress with that. Like, are they
For
gonna
sure.
buff certain ones so that they want one certain type of play style to be meta? I don't know, but
So
hopefully it's balanced.
just to get into it real quick, like for people that might not have actually seen what the hell PvP is itself. PvP is basically like an 8 versus 8, where it's like 5 units on the field, 3 units in the back line. All the units have different abilities, different specials, different attack patterns, all these kinds of like different new upgrades. They have a speed stat now, they have a defensive stat now that all can be upgraded as well. And essentially what it is, it's completely auto mode. It's not hands on at all. You set up your team and you just let it rock. You pick an opponent. So like Todd said, it isn't like a player versus player. However, it is a player's team
Yeah,
versus
it's
your
strategy
team.
versus strategy rather
So
than
like,
player
yeah.
versus player.
So you pick one of the players, and then based upon if you win, let's say you win, for example, you earn tickets and you earn points to the overall ranking. There is an overall ranking, and there are rewards associated with that. And then those tickets can be used for things like upgrading your facilities in the resource island, which we'll get into as well, and making purchases in the shop and all those kinds of things as well. So that's like the general gist of it. Going into it a little bit, I want to talk about the resource island a little bit because, like, what do you like? Have you guys seen the resource island? Like, particularly Dilber and Joba, have you guys had a look at
Haven't
the
seen
resource island at all?
anything.
Not really.
So, like, the resource island is actually like quite good. I mean, it starts off trash. Like, you get
Yeah.
one gem every. Level 1 of the gem thing is what 96 hours for one gem to be
Yeah.
generated, which is kind of arse. But like,
Yeah.
the way it works is like there's a single match mode, and you defeat the bosses in the single match mode and unlock the islands and then you can use the tickets that you earn to upgrade those islands. However, when it comes to the later stages of upgrading, you require a particular rank to upgrade that island. So I believe to get the gem tree resource island, and that means that every 20 hours one gem is generated. You need to be a minimum of you need to at least got into top 1k of the finals mode at least one time, because it goes off your overall highest rank rather than your current rank.
Yeah, like your overall highest rank that you've ever achieved, I think is what it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like if you
Yeah.
got top 1k once and then never again, you will continue to use that as like okay,
As
you
like the
can
benchmark.
upgrade it, you know.
Yeah. That's cool.
And it's cool because it's free stuff. Like there's limit break materials that like have a percent to drop, like the rare ones and the mediums and the smalls. There's lobsters. There's training points. There's berry. Obviously there's gems. Well,
Stamina
there's
refill.
stam.
Yeah.
I still don't not how do you know how the cotton candy thing actually works? I still don't know how it works.
Yeah, so it works based off of what level it is. So right now, I have all my things maxed. So, at level 5, I believe you can go up to 10 cotton candy. So then after that, you can like level up your characters more. So like right now, I can give plus 110 to all 3 stats.
To everyone?
So,
Yeah,
so,
to everyone.
Oh,
wow.
It works for all
because
units.
everything that I heard, people were saying like you put a unit into the island, you can only
No,
upgrade.
no, no, no.
Okay, so it's a universal one. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's universal.
That's crazy. Wait, so it's an up. So you can. So like, it's not like plus 300 is the base, then you upgrade it and the unit miraculously turns to plus 600. You have to still feed that candy to the unit to
Yeah.
get to plus 600. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
well that makes sense then.
I high key might focus everything on the attack cotton candy island, to be honest. Like, fuck the gem.
Gem's useless. Like you get one every 20 hours. Like okay, that's fine, but that's you need like I think something like 400,000 tickets to get there.
If you're
Yeah,
free to play,
you gotta
should
go
probably,
ham.
if you're free to play, you should probably do the gem island.
That's true.
Yeah.
But like there's a lot of cool islands there, and I'm sure that there'll be a strategy on I think shout out to Snowman though. That's where I got all my information from. Great guy. I think he did release a video recently about the strategy of what to upgrade when. So I might look into that a little later. But there will definitely be like a general strategy as to what to approach. I think for the most part, a lot of late game players will be approaching probably candy for the most part to get units to the plus 600, because I think that's going to do a lot more work than getting one extra gem every like 73 hours.
Especially if they're just going to buy gems anyway.
Exactly, it's not going to do much. But one thing that I do like is with the actual gem tree itself, it stores up to 2 gems. I don't know if that gets upgraded or not, if that storage like becomes any larger, but like if you can't pick up the gem, let's say if you have it max upgraded, if you can't pick up the gem within the first 20 hours, it'll store that gem.
Oh, that's really good.
So
Yes,
you can like leave 2 gems in there, pick them both up. And I think when it's
How much
maxed
does it
out,
store though? So for example, say like how can it only store 2? Or
I think it's only
Yeah.
2. I don't know if that gets
I was gonna say
upgraded
like
as
what
you
if
upgrade
you
it.
just kept letting it store up and and
just
then
popped
right
it?
before it ended, you claimed like 15 gems. You know what I mean?
That would be cool if it just like stored it infinitely and you just leave it.
I mean, like I think like
Yeah,
the
'cause
way
then you could save it for
yeah, that's the
big
only
event,
issue.
Yeah.
I think the way it works is when it's maxed out in storage, the timer doesn't tick. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that makes sense. Yeah.
So like when you have max 2 gems in there for like let's say like for the image I'm looking at is like it currently takes 95 hours to get 1 gem, for example, right? Let's say like you get those 2 gems in like 190 hours of waiting, which is heinous to think about, but 190 hours of waiting, then it will not continue that timer as long as the gems are still there. So if you pick both of them up, I believe the timer would reset. I'm not 100% on that, but that definitely seems the way it is at the moment. But aside from the resource island, the flag upgrading is quite interesting. Using the flags to upgrade your unit stuff. So it does work in a sense kind of like limit break potions. So every flag, bronze, silver, and gold, has a value associated to it. And when you feed a flag to a unit, it gets experience, kind of like training potions. You get the mastery points when you use it, and then you can delegate where you want to use that experience.
Yep.
Which
Either
is
on their passive or their special skill.
which is really cool.
Mhm.
And even if you overflow, like if you level up one, it'll put the
excess.
excess way, and then you can use that to continue upgrading that same one, or move it to a different to either the skill or a different one that you weren't upgrading previously. So it's very positive in that sense.
Do we actually have like set values? Like, do people know the gold value yet?
All I know is one of them is 1500. That might be bronze, so it might be like 15.
I wonder like how many gold flags it would take to max a skill. Just
I
hypothetically.
mean, what is it?
wonder.
So this is a Snake Man. The bottom one I think is his skill here. It's currently level 3. It requires 20k to get to level 4.
Okay, so it'd probably take a lot.
It goes up more and more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like I'd assume that you'd be looking at like total like 80 to 100k probably, or maybe less actually, maybe like 60 to 70, which would be like a lot of flags, like a lot. But like
Yeah.
you can buy them from the Ray shop. There's a set amount where there are 100 Ray points, like I think 100, 200, 300 Ray points, something along those
What
lines.
rarity are the ones in the race shop?
All of them, I believe.
All of them are there.
And there's also a flag island that you can run 3 times. Is that a day, or was that a one-off?
That's a day.
It's a day.
Okay, so 3 times a day, and you get one of each color, I believe. So
Mhm.
like
That's worth.
you run that 3 times a day,
And I
and then
assume
you,
flags of the same color of the unit that you feed to give more.
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of like so it works the same way as turtles and stuff. So
Yep. Sick.
there's way to actually collect flags. You can also buy them from the ticket shop. I'm gonna
Mhm.
assume, yeah, and like you can use your tickets there. Just a question, Knight. How do you get is the ace gotten from rewards, or do you buy the ace from the actual ticket shop itself?
After you do the 5 clears and then the lemmy break and stuff, and the extra crystals are also from how many runs you've done on the map.
It's from that first reward tab. It's like how many participations, how many times you've fought in PvP.
Yeah.
So like the way that the rewards work, the first tab is purely based upon how many fights you've had, for example. So
Okay.
like, and I think the rewards go up to 100,
Oh wow.
Yeah.
and like those progressively get more. So like, you get more flags, you get more berries, you get more lobsters, you get more tickets as you do more fights. So like, I mean, like if you're running just on regular stam, you can only hit like 30 to 40 every time.
I wonder,
Because-
are those missions gonna progress through to the second and third prelims? I wonder.
Oh, I don't
Because
know
if
if
they're
that number
resetting each
reset.
time, because like, are they gonna make it so that like each prelim is a different PvP character? I don't think they'll do that.
The banner shows Ace is going to be here until the end of the month. So I
Okay,
don't
yeah,
think
that
they
makes
work
sense.
like that. Yeah.
Hmm.
And then the next reward there is the qualifying round. So that is basically the rewards you're earning from A, B, and C. I believe those ones are based upon your rank that you
Mhm.
get. So the thing about it is that the rank you get in the qualifying rounds like is essentially irrelevant for the most part, except getting you into either exhibition or finals, I think. And what is do we know the cutoff yet for what they are? Is it top 8K?
Someone said up 7K, I think.
7K.
Yeah.
Okay, top 7K.
That's
So like
reasonable.
It's
that
decent, yeah.
so like it's similar to TM, just a little bit more restricted, I guess. So so essentially what you could do is get top 7K in one of the qualifying, and then you're automatically in. And then for the
Yep.
next two, you can just farm freely with free stam, just to get rewards and such. And then the big rewards come out in the exhibition and the finals, where like these, obviously the exhibition rewards are going to be less than the finals ones, but like those are the rewards that introduce red tickets. And I think first place is like 150 gems, something along those lines, which is like pretty similar to TM ones as well. I'm going to assume as well there's going to be like flags in those rewards. There definitely has to be.
Surely.
Yeah. There's skull ones, I think.
Okay. And then yeah, so like you kind of look at it in the sense of like it's another ranking system, and getting higher up means that, or like ranking higher in the finals allows you to upgrade your islands, or gives you at least that benchmark that
True.
allows you to upgrade your islands further. So trying to do that as quick as possible is probably the most beneficial thing, because if you can get like top 1K in the first set, in the first finals that comes out, then you're pretty much set for the rest of
It gives you a big
upgrading
head
everything.
start.
Yeah.
I was seeing some people like complain on Reddit. They were like, "Well, what's new?" Right? But I saw people on Reddit say like, "Oh, like this is going to be such a pay to win mode. You got to farm so much." But like, you only need top 7K in one of the prelims to make finals. It's not that
Yeah.
hard, really.
And then even then, like I think what was it? The ranks for finals goes down to you get ranked for top 10K in finals though, which is what I find weird. I think it's top 7K to qualify in each qualifying it might be, and maybe if you okay. So every qualifying has a cutoff of top 7K, and I'm assuming if you've already qualified, you're removed from
Yeah. So wait. So does that mean that there's only 10,000 max?
because it
finals?
says because the last one says top 10,000 above 10,001. There's a special rank for 10,001 and below. Sorry,
Okay.
so that means it's more than 10,000 then
Yeah.
in the finals.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah, but the amount of people in finals is going to change from month to month.
That is true. But
Yeah.
like the way that it will work is if you've already qualified, obviously all you have to do is qualify for one of the qualifying. You have three chances essentially to rank top 7K once.
Yeah.
Which is extremely doable. Like, Knight right now has said he's dropped maybe 8 to 10 gems, which is, playing for 12 days nets you like, 24 gems or so, just free gems as it is, right? And that's put him in top 2K. That's Japan as well. Players go a lot harder in Japan than they do global. If this was come to global, you drop 5 to 10 gems on, day one, you're definitely looking at
you're
top
in.
7K 100%.
Yeah, you're done.
Another thing as well is it's not about even just playing the game, even like just defending against other players.
That is true.
That nets you points and tickets too.
So there is a system in the game that has a defensive mode. So on before that as well, you can set up two different teams. You can set up an attacking team and a defending team. And the way that works is the attacking team is the team you use to verse other opponents, and the defending team is the team that is what other people see when they challenge you.
Yeah.
So
Ooh,
let's
that's kind
say
of interesting.
Knight sets up a defending team and I choose to challenge him and I lose. When he logs back in, for example, he'll see a screen that pops up that says something along the lines of like, you successfully defended against one person, and he will get points and he'll get tickets as well.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people have been saying that like you actually get more rewards by defending rather than attacking a lot of the time, which is crazy.
Like, the thing is, like, if you're gonna free to play this and like only use like the nat stam, you can only attack 3 times a day.
Yeah.
So like for the
but
most
you can
part,
defend infinitely.
but you can defend
Yeah.
at any point in time, right? I think for the most part you can get maybe like 60 to 80 points a day. I mean, if you're getting lucky opponents that have really high point thresholds. Like some of the high ones I've seen like 23 points and above, more or less, is like the highest that you can earn against the against an opponent.
It is a double-edged sword though, because if you set up a very powerful defending team, no one's going to challenge you. So you
there's
really
a lot
have
of
to
bait
think about
involved.
how you
Oh,
build
there's a
your
lot
team.
of
see, I think-
debating going on.
But I think with like setting up a really hard defending team, it makes I don't know, what are we calling that? Is it might? Is it strength? Is it like that total
Combat
stat?
power.
Okay, yeah. Power
don't know.
sounds good. That power stat, setting up a defending team, I think, because no one really knows how it's calculated, the points and stuff, right? Like from this screenshot here, rank 16, his power stat is 36k, and if you beat him, you get 23 points. However, there's a person that's ranked 149th that has a power stat of 47k. You only get 5 points or 5 tickets if you beat him. So I'm assuming that it's not necessarily the power rank, the power stat, it's the rank that really determines
the actual
how
numerical
many
rank.
tickets you get.
Well, then how does that work at the start of a PvP season?
I guess it just kind of averaged out
It's
to like
random,
3
maybe?
tickets or something like that.
Yeah.
Because there's a guy above that which is ranked 389th who has a power stat of 37k, and he has 3 tickets or 3 points if you win. But
Okay.
like then again, he's running 6 units on his team where the other 2 are running 8. So maybe that has to that plays into that algorithm as well.
Yes. And like limit break and sockets and stuff
True.
is what I've heard.
Knight, have you lost? Has a screen popped up where you've lost defending?
No, it doesn't show if you lost defending. You just
You
lose
win.
points.
Okay. Wait, so do
Yeah.
you lose points if you lose defending?
You lose rank. I don't think you lose points per se.
People will just
Naturally,
rank you above
naturally
you.
you lose rank. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, people
Mhm.
move up and down around you.
Yeah.
And
makes
is there a consecutive bonus to winning? Because I've read a few places that's been the case. Do you get more tickets if you win a lot in a row?
I believe so. I wasn't really
Hmm.
paying attention when I was.
When you're running shit with that
'Cause
with that
it
blue
does
cheese.
keep track of your streak, so I assume that
Yeah, it does.
there's probably some modifier or amplifier or something.
And maybe
for doing that.
if you're on a streak, your value, your bounty, I guess you could call it, is like the amount of points you get out of that player becomes more. I
Potentially.
don't know. We'll have to figure that out eventually. Hopefully, it gets figured out eventually. That's for sure. But there's a lot to it. There's a lot of strategy
Very in
behind.
depth.
there's a lot there, and it's going to take a long time to decipher. And shout out to everyone that's actually translating units and stuff that are,
Yeah.
getting us a little bit of data right now, because it's going to be very exciting, because there's a lot of fantastic units out there. On top of that as well, every season has an associated rule set. This isn't necessarily a rule set that you have to follow, but it could help you if you do follow it. So for example, this current qualifying round, it's every match is 100 seconds, which is pretty interesting because it's you have to defeat your opponent within 100 seconds, right? So we could see in the future that this gets changed. Do you guys agree with that? I feel like maybe they changed the caveat to be like something different. You have to beat your opponent with this kind of unit on the team. You have to beat your opponent with, a strength unit or something like that. Like I could definitely see it occurring where
where you're actually restricted to what you can bring.
Like you have to win via a particular means rather than it just being beat your opponent in 100 seconds.
Oh, that would be annoying.
But
Yeah,
on
that
top of
would
that
be
as well,
annoying.
just as right now, if you do not beat every single one of your opponent's units, you lose. You have to
Yeah.
win by clearing out shop. You have to beat everyone.
I'm not the biggest fan of that.
I'm not either,
It's a bit annoying.
but I feel like it's probably a lot easier for them to calculate on the front end,
And
on the back end.
Because of that, I suppose it means that they don't want you to stall or run really tanky teams. I guess that's why that's the dichotomy there, because that's what your defending team is trying to do, trying to
them out
stall
and
out
such,
against.
yeah.
Because if your defending team just stalls out the enemy, you will get a lot of
You-
tickets.
You'll win. You'll just continue to win.
That's what Coruscant said as well. He's like,
Mm.
just aim to stall out. There's no point trying to have a defending team that's going to kill your opponent.
Yeah, that's right.
And then on top of that as well, so like the rules set for qualifying A is increase the strength of free spirit characters to level 1. We still don't know how much of an
That's
increase
HP, I
that is.
believe.
Sorry, HP, my bad. HP of free spirit characters level 1, and then when the cooldown timer hits 30 seconds or less, increases basically just increases the stats of those units.
I think it's
Of-
the speed.
The speed and damage, I believe it is.
Yeah, something
in
like
particular, which is like crazy. So so at the moment, free spirit teams are the meta. These are the teams that you want to be running in order to actually
that. And I
to
think it's
clear-
also
to-
to coincide with the release of V3 Kuzan
Yes, very true. And I think the next one we have there is
shooters.
shooters are next, which is very interesting because that will start around the time that JP Annie starts. And if they're saying that they want shooter units, is JP Annie 6th Annie Legend going to be a shooter unit? That's the question.
I'd say it's
That's-
likely.
I say it's very likely there. And I think the last one was like something up, but then something like Dex was down. They
It
lose.
mentioned something about Dex units get defense down or something.
So you don't want to run Dex units, which is like and I think this is what we like. This is kind of what we like wanted and predicted a little bit in the previous episode. Like we really wanted something like this where it would revolve around units would be not necessarily restricted, but you would have units like this is the best kind of boosting because it's not like like PvP Neko gets +7 strength and stuff. It's kind of just like free spirit units all get more HP. If I run a free spirit defense team, I'm going to be a lot tankier. I'm going to be able to maybe survive and stall out the opponent a lot, like as a better chance of me doing that, which is exciting. Very, very interesting indeed.
Nice.
And then also there is things where like characters can have reduced costs. So even before everything, your max cost is 300, max. So like, and that is all 8 units can only total to 300 cost. So like, you can, if you wanted to bring all legends, you can only bring like 5 legends or 6 legends or whatever. And then you couldn't bring any other units, which would put you at more or less of the time a disadvantage. So you want to bring a team that has maybe 1 to 2 legends, a few units that might be healing, might be like debuffers that are a lot less cost. You can run a full team that gives you the best chance of survival. But hey, that might not even be the meta at all.
Or use the boosted list characters which have reduced cost.
Yes, so Kaido has a reduced cost of 20, which is a big cut in terms of like cost and stuff as well.
Yeah,
so
more than half his cost. Yeah, so it's really good.
I'm glad we have to think about cost though.
Yeah.
Costs just become relevant again.
Yeah, especially at a high level. Like cost does not mean anything.
For real though. You can also get crits. So crits just work like Pokemon, where a crit just does more damage. You can miss, and this completely just does 0 damage. But like a unit can't miss their special, which is like thank God, because if that was the case, then far out. And then characters have a chance to guard an attack, which means like their defense and their defense is increased, and then they obviously that reduces the amount of damage that is done to them. And also, an interesting part that Tom mentioned at the very beginning of the discussion was like you might want to have teams that knock units back. This is like a kind of strategy in terms of skipping a unit's actions. So a unit can have their actions skipped if they're blown back to the back of the formation. They're essentially the action that they were going to commit to has been skipped, and I think they have to restart their attack cycle again.
And they've got to run back over too.
So it's going to take it's going to take some
really?
time.
I did not know that it resets their attack cycle.
I think it does. I'm fairly sure.
That's actually kind of busted.
Because like the way that the attack pattern works, I think for example, like for was it for Snake Man, where it's like small attack, big attack, and then like a even bigger one on top of that.
Yeah, most characters have that one.
And once that attack cycle completes, it repeats. So if you can like have a way where let's say Snake Man's almost at the big attack and you blow him back and he has to run back, he starts from the small attack again. So you're going to be able to survive a little longer.
Another thing as well is some characters do like attack, and then they heal themselves by level 1, and then they'll do a full attack. So if you like cop them before they heal, you can just
and they restart, so they're going to attack again, which is
when I was reading through some of the skills, I did notice that a lot of these slasher characters had knockback type of effects, like V2 Zora and like V2 Fuji. They had abilities that were relating to knockback and stuff like that. So there's different synergies there, which is really cool. Like you can build a whole full team just build with like knocking back enemies, and when you knock them back, you get buffs and stuff. Like it's really interesting. It's cool.
A lot of characters had PvP abilities added to them as well. A lot. Like the pool is huge, which is very exciting.
It's a lot larger than what we were expecting, I think.
We were expecting like the batch that came out in like 20 units, I think. And they were just like, you know what? Fuck it.
Like every legend got PvP skills.
Every legend got but it really has to make you think like how long have they been thinking about this mode for them to have prepped a lot of these units? Because there's no way that like this came together within a couple months. No way. They had these things prepped for I reckon a couple of years potentially. They're just waiting for the right time to send it. And
to execute it, yeah.
Sixth Annie was like the Sixth Annie period is fantastic.
As good a time as any.
This whole Sixth Annie thing has actually been, I guess, like anything else on PvP before we like segue? Knight, anything else you want to mention?
Well, Bullet is horrible to play against. I highly advise not to play against Bullet.
You see Bullet,
oh my god!
Don't verse that guy. That guy's
okay, so for players out there who don't understand what Bullet does, he basically taunts, so you have to attack him. Bullet has a lot of HP. I think he has maybe the highest HP of any unit at the moment. And when he taunts you, he also buffs his own attack and defense, so he's really hard to kill.
By a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's like 7,500 HP. And this is...
It's 10 mil. I mean, 10,000.
Yeah.
It's 10,000 HP.
Like,
yeah.
Just as a preface as well, units don't get like... You don't boost units' HP by like 1.5 times. You have like 30k. Every unit has like everyone does damage like, it's like 3k damage. It's not like you're doing like a 10 mil hit, So like 10 million HP is... Sorry, 10,000 HP is ridiculous.
That's the highest right now, yeah.
That's a lot of potential damage that he can take. And with the ability to taunt and raise his own defense and, let all the other units around him, like his team just basically maul the other, like the opposition, like he's a fantastic defending unit. He is so strong.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's funny because, like, in generic play, Bullet is like one of the most offensively powerful units in the game, and now he's the most defensively powerful in PvP.
I think, like, also one thing to mention before we give our thoughts on our last, like, theories on Sixth Annie, formation, like setting up formation and stuff. I think there's gonna be a lot of strategy to that because right now the board doesn't seem as simple as just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions. From what I've seen, a lot of the footage is like there's a lot of space that units move into. There's a lot of space for units to move around in as well. So it's gonna be really interesting how if I put Bullet in the center, does that move everyone around him? Does that move people behind him? Does that move people in front of him? Like, it'll be really interesting if I put him at the very end. Does he move in and then force other units to move away? Like, it's gonna be really interesting to see how much the position you put a unit affects a lot of like their movement and stuff, and how formations will actually work out in the long run.
Yeah, I have no idea, to be honest.
That's like something that is going to be very interesting to see. But I think
it's
we
cool.
can call back we can call back Dylan Joba. You guys can sub back on the field. It's we're into the last legs. This is it. So with 6th Annie being 9 days away from when we record, from as we're recording, we want it. So the next episode will most likely be during 6th Annie on JP. So it'll be very exciting for us to give you our thoughts and opinions on what everything happened on the legend, on the units, whatever drops during that period of time. But I think we want to give our final thoughts and opinions on the current, like what's currently happened, and then maybe our last hints or our last guesses as to what could be the 6th Annie legend. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think of the current campaign that's happened with the with 6th Annie overall?
I haven't been following it, if I'm being completely honest. I very rarely look at stuff going on JP.
They gave out some very nice free-to-play legends, free-to-play characters.
Yeah.
In the super typing characters, they're great.
Super typing characters great. Kirsten the Big Mom, fantastic unit. Every the raid buggy's great. And then even talking about the crew straw hats with them on the Mary. That's like one of the best support units in the game. Like all the units that have dropped around this period of time have been fantastic. CP9 was awesome as well. The Moria's great too. Clash Jinbei's good. Like all these, I mean, Shirahoshi's kind of but like that's
oh, that TM, yeah.
That's besides the point. But a lot of the free play units have been really great, and then on top of that, we've received a lot of really good legends, Shang's crew, Arlong crew, Mihawk Perona, Rayleigh, incredible units, pretty much. Like a lot. I mean, I think like Rayleigh's probably the weakest out of all of them. Unfortunately, I think Rayleigh got shafted.
Rayleigh got shafted so bad, dude. I'm still mad about that.
He hurts himself. Like, just the fact that you can't use any other specials is so dumb.
Yeah.
V2 Rayleigh 6+ is going to be better than V3 Rayleigh.
Yep. Not be surprised.
Wait for V3 Rayleigh 6+ where they remove that. I'm betting.
Then he'd be a god. Holy shit.
He would be the best legend in the game, bro. But we got Shanks crew out of that. And I think a lot of the time, the question that comes around is like, I mean, not even a lot of the time. Right now, the question is, if the legends we're getting are of this caliber and this quality, what the hell is the 6th Annie legend going to do to exceed this? Because it has to, right? There's no way it does not exceed this quality.
It's either going to completely flop or...
I'm so scared it's going to flop.
How can you make it better than the Shanks legend?
It has to be like a 5 times rainbow or some shit, man. It has to go off.
I hope not. That would suck.
It's going to be a rainbow. It has to be a rainbow captain. It only makes sense to be a rainbow.
I wouldn't mind that. As long as they're super typing.
Yeah, I think super typing is pretty likely.
Like, and I mean, like going back to like us, get your tinfoil hats on. Shooter legend potentially with the with shooters being boosted in qualifying B, and that's going to start around the same time as JP Annie. We've been getting a lot of support for strength and int. So looking at Coliseum, Kizaru came out, support strength and int. Looking at and then on top of that as well, we have gotten a 6+ V1 Fuji, and we've also gotten a Kolo Kizaru. So is the legend going to be Akainu? Are we getting a V3? I don't think anyone would have expected it, but I think with everything that's happening right now, we're either getting that or we're getting a 6+ V2 Aka. So definitely along that, because we're getting a lot of support for him in particular. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Last theory crafting. What's the legend gonna happen? Who's dropping? Cobb, go. Who's dropping? Who's dropping?
It's gonna be Kid.
Kid?
Kid in some capacity, whether it's a dual legend or whether it's him by himself. It's gonna be Kid.
I agree. I 100% agree.
Joba.
Odin.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Odin would be everyone's fantasy.
Yeah.
Knight, what do you think?
Definitely Kid as well.
And finally, Todd.
Yeah, I think Luffy Kid dual unit is definitely happening.
I low key just want Kid single legend.
I mean, that would be cool too.
It won't sell as much, I don't think, but a Kid single legend would be fucking awesome.
That's why I think it's gonna be Luffy Kid because
it will be Luffy Kid. If because that's gonna be your
Kid
shooter.
Killer. That'd be cool.
Kid
Could
Killer.
be Kid Killer. That's gonna be
the
your
thing
shooter.
is there has to be. Surely there's gonna be at least another legend with it.
And what do you think about that though? Because obviously there's always like a part 3 or a second legend. If we're gonna get Kid Killer, let's assume that it's Kid Luffy, right? Prison Kid Luffy. I think that's like the main consensus for the most part.
That'd be sick.
What do you guys think? Back around the table, Cobb. What do you think the second legend is if they release the second one?
Queen.
Jesus. Dill, what do you think?
I've got no idea, to be honest. I haven't even thought that much through with it.
Just whatever comes to mind.
I've got 3 in mind.
Come on. Kinemon Kandro.
Ooh,
That'd be interesting.
that'd be very interesting. Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Haven't thought it through.
You write it, pop it, something. I need something.
Yeah, Kinemon and Conjurer. Sounds
I
good.
think that's a really good shout, honestly. Knight, what do you think, man?
I don't know, honestly. Maybe KFL 6+.
Oh, release Kung Fu Luffy? Oh, that'd be sick. Release
Dude,
him for JP.
with a 6+ as well.
Like
Hey,
guaranteed on like
Yeah.
4th or 5th multi
Yeah.
or some shit.
Nah,
That'd be
put him on the
sick.
9th. He deserves at least the 9th. Todd, what do you think, man? You said you had 3 in the back pocket.
Yeah,
Hit me
okay.
up.
My first one was one that Cobby said. Queen would be one. Another one would be V2 Kaido.
Jesus.
Or a dual Big Mom Kaido.
Can we say that?
Yeah, well, I just did.
Okay. Alright, too bad. We can say that. Yeah. Okay. I don't think it's time for a V2 Kaido, dude. I don't know.
Then
man.
again, V2 Katakuri came relatively close to his
very
Big Mom.
quickly. Very
Yeah.
quickly.
Get a Kaido 6+ maybe.
I could see a Kaido 6+ more than a. Actually, no, I take that back. I could see a V2 Kaido way more
Yeah.
than a 6+ Kaido.
Like,
Damn.
get a V2 Kaido where he's using his club against Luffy.
Oh,
That'd be
God.
sick.
That'd be awesome.
Oh,
I
would
reckon
be
they're gonna do some. They're gonna do some cheap shit and release like a Zoro.
Okay, well then
Zoro
what would be a release legend for that anniversary that you would hate? Like if you
No
saw it,
more-
you'd be so disappointed.
No straw hat.
Dual unit.
A dual unit. You
Yes,
said
I'm so
Smoker.
sick of this.
I feel like, bro, I don't know, man. I feel like all this talk, part 3 Smoker. I reckon they're gonna release 2 legends for part 1 and 2 of Annie, and then part 3 is gonna be that legend Smoker that won with the shooter.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I feel
I
like
doubt they're gonna release that now.
it's either Smoker or Sugar is the part 3 legend.
Sugar,
I'm
oh,
calling it
fuck
right now.
off.
No
It has to be.
way.
It's going. I feel like it's going to be. It makes
Nah.
sense.
Shoot a legend Sugar.
By the way, the artwork for V2 Kaido should be when he jumps off the Sky Island.
Oh, that wouldn't be too.
That man got banished.
I didn't even move. I think he moved himself.
Wait, really?
Wait, who kicked him?
no, I can already see unevolved. Like I can see like V2 Kaido, like his evolved artwork is him swinging his club, and then like his unevolved could be like him on the ground after Luffy just like beat him up. I don't know.
He got blasted.
Either way, but like I think a legend that I would hate to see for the anniversary would be like Orochi.
No, I don't want that.
That would suck.
I want Orochi as like a TM or a Kizuna, something
Yeah.
something like that, because that'd be really cool, you know, because you could theme. I think a lot of people have shouted like Kyoshiro, and I don't want that either. Fuck that.
No, I feel like we might get a legend of him, but like way later.
It's too soon.
Yeah, way later.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we're gonna get a straw
Hey
hat.
man, Wano's exciting. They can do a lot of things with Wano.
Wano's gonna be milked like
Wano's been
Dressrosa
so
was.
fucking good, dude.
Dressrosa's still getting milked, bro.
What if they did like,
Wano's better than Dressrosa
what if
already.
they did like a
100%.
really cool, like maybe like okay, so they're releasing this. What if like they did a free to play dual unit, like what they did last year, where they released
Yeah.
Dofi and Treble dual unit as a free to play unit? What if they did like an X Drake and Page 1 dual unit? That'd be sick. Oh,
That'd actually be fucking dope. Hold
Dude,
on.
there's so much they can do, man. It's so
And then
exciting.
they could release like a one, and then obviously they would, alongside that they could definitely release like a 1.0. You know, that's what they could. I reckon they could. That's what they could drop. Chopper Law. It's time. Chopper Law is gonna get dropped during the 1.0 shit at some point.
I
yeah.
forgot we gotta get that at some point. Yeah, Cobb, that's a good call.
Can't say that though.
Yeah.
Get that one.
That's
Gotta go
manga
back to-
spoilers.
Gotta go
Yeah,
back
I
to
wanna-
Punk
I
Hazard for that.
Rare recruits they could do too, like in the prison themselves. I mean, you got like what's his face, Caribou, Riser, like Kawamatsu.
I think
there's-
the whole prison batch. It could just be a whole batch like right there.
Are we
It's
there yet in the
you know?
anime?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like starting. I think.
Yeah.
Prison. But like I feel like I don't know. Man, it's there's so like they could do anything. Yeah, as dumb as that is to say, like they could
Yeah.
pull because like obviously we're going through like we don't even know if 1.0 is gonna be.
Yeah, we don't.
That's the
true.
theme of the
You know,
anniversary.
we're all assuming it, but like from everything that's said, it's like the campaign that's currently going on now is entering the new world. Obviously, like
Yeah.
we have like the Big Mom Kizuna, and then you had the Dressrosa. So
And
obviously the next
Sulong Carrot Kizuna coming up too.
yeah. So like obviously like you know the assumption is that you're gonna go to 1.0 afterwards. Like
That would make
if
sense.
if you're gonna go down the timeline, but like I feel like they might like do something crazy and release some admiral like go back to Marineford again.
That would be some massive blue ball and shit. Right
I don't
there.
I don't want to go back to Marineford. What
I mean,
about
look,
what about
if
like
they-
a Luffy Sanji Whole Cake Island Duel Legend?
That'd be really cool.
That would be cool. Yeah.
I still want like an Admiral Crew legend.
Yep.
Like
same.
Aka at the front, and then at least Kizaru and if we're going back to Marineford, Kizaru and Kuzan in the back would be really cool. But if we would do a more modernized one, having Kizaru Fuji, and it being like a shooter powerhouse unit or something like some ridiculous kind of typing like that would be really cool. If we had a crew legend
I
like
would
that.
still love for them to release dual legends of rivals. Like, imagine if like they did a Marineford one, they did like a Whitebeard and a Kainu dual unit or some shit, or like a Shanks and Blackbeard.
I feel like that would have its completely own.
Shanks
Yeah.
of Kainu.
Yeah, like Ben Beckman and
No.
Kizaru.
Yeah.
Oh,
Awesome.
Manu Bakuman.
That'd be so good.
And
Oh.
that's the
Shout out
sound
to that
that
guy.
plays. That's
Oh,
the
man.
sound that plays and use their special, dude.
That'd be amazing. Or like a Marco Kizaru.
Okay, well then, aside from units, what do you guys think the campaign's gonna hold? Because like going back to like, you know, was it last? Annie, was Luffy Law last JP Annie?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, going back to that whole campaign, that was huge. There was so much shit going on, you know,
Yeah.
and the website was really good because it had all the units that were there as well, and it was very very interesting, and it was very exciting because we got access to the website and you saw the units like, what the fuck is this unit? You know, this
It was crazy.
this shit's awesome, and then you realize there's 2 dual legends, and you're like, what the hell? Big Mom's got 2 clouds. That's 3 characters. What the hell's going on here? You know, like, but like aside from characters, what do you guys think the campaign's gonna be like? Assuming like obviously with the knowledge that we have of what's existing now, where are we gonna go with this campaign for 6 Annie? What are we gonna get? What's gonna happen? Talk to me.
I would be married to come back. That ship's crazy.
Oh yeah, they've already
That
confirmed.
shit went off, bro.
Yeah, there's a new like Sunny that you can get.
That's 6 Annie one.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
it's-
the same
it's-
shit though.
Yeah, the
It's
sales.
like on the 10th though.
Yeah.
The 10th,
But
it's early. Like what? 6 days, 7 days in. Like so, there'll be 2 days left until Annie starts.
yeah, so I feel like they could bring the Mary back, which would be
You
dope.
just on the Mary, bro. that shit was actually
Yeah.
crazy.
Got that tier.
That shit was nutty. I feel like there's gonna be like, there's obviously gonna be a TM related to the whole Annie. There'll be a
Yeah.
Kizuna.
It might do a
PvP.
quick battle, maybe.
Do you think there's gonna be a blitz?
Maybe after everything's said and done. I don't know.
There'll be a blitz. There's always a fucking blitz.
That's always. I was about to
does
say.
seem-
That's always
It does seem like Blitz is after everything.
Yeah, because they'll probably release a new banner where you have to sign up for new units and shit.
Oh, fuck off.
Shit.
This is
Yeah,
the
'cause the
game we
last-
chose. This is the game we
last-
chose to play.
You know what's something they haven't done in a really long time that they could potentially do
A
would
good
be like
blitz?
a legend selection.
Yeah.
That has
Yeah.
not been done in a while.
And then go. What was like? And go from like V1 Sanji, and then the next like 8 units after that, because you can't be fucking giving us hot
You'd
top
have some
tiers.
characters like Shirahoshi, NL, Magellan, V2 Lucci. Those would be the type of characters.
Absolutely. I'm picking none of them. I'm not even taking.
Yeah,
my,
I'm picking none of
I'm not even
Eh.
taking my ticket bro, at that point.
them. Yeah, I don't know. They should definitely do that again because a lot of players ask for it. I
It's
also
good.
expect there to be lots of free multis given out. Probably,
No, there'll probably be one.
the week leading up to the actual.
There'll be
Pseudo
one every
Fest.
day,
Yeah, you
yeah.
get one every day, and then one on the actual day.
How many gems are they giving out? 50? I reckon 50 at most.
I'd say at least 100.
For sure.
Jeez.
And stuff.
Yeah,
So they might give more with top grossing
yeah, they'll probably
because we
reach
got that
gross.
last year.
I don't know if TC is going to hit top grossing.
Well, I think they
We
did,
got it
or
last
they were
year.
very close last year. Yeah,
I
We
think
got
I don't know, man. With the money, like with the funds that they were generating last year,
I
down
remember
down
they were
like
second at least.
down like 21% from 2019. Come on, cuz they're gonna release some heat.
It
This
depends.
legend has
Yeah, it
to
depends
go
what the banner
off.
is, man. Yeah.
This has to go off, dude. Or they have to be lucky with grossing that day. That there's no games that are dropping
Yeah, and they
anything
hope that no
important.
other games release OP banners or some shit.
Dokkan comes out with the next best legend in the
Oh
next
my
best
God.
LR, and it's over, bro. It's gonna be exciting. There is
Yeah.
a lot to look forward to. That is for sure. We're gonna quickly slip into some viewer questions
Cool.
selected by the homies in the call. Thank you very much. This one is from Samuel. He says, "Which anniversary do you believe was OPTC's peak?"
Well, so we got to talk global NJP, I suppose.
Yes.
For global, it was Lucy's release, 3rd anniversary.
Yes.
Yeah,
There's no
hands down.
contest there. There's no contest there.
Yeah. Unless
Because
if anyone
fifth
has any.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does anyone
objections.
disagree?
Yeah.
I don't
No.
think so. I don't think so. Because I think fifth Annie's like balls in my opinion. Like I don't know.
5th annie was pretty
Yeah.
meh. And then
And-
last
and the-
year's was like average.
Yeah, the
good.
Whitebeard is the only thing that kind of recovered it, but
That's 100%
legends are-
right. Whitebeard
Yeah.
was the saving grace.
So what Annie did you guys say? Sorry, I was kind of
The-
spacing.
3rd anniversary.
Third
of
Annie.
Lucy.
Lucy.
Oh yeah, that was pretty hype. To be honest, yeah. I also second Annie was pretty cool because that had TSL and that was
I
the first time
mainly
it started to get like that was the first time like because the first Annie was pretty meh, but the second Annie is when they started getting into their stride when it came to that kind of stuff.
True.
Third
Main reason why I said main reason why I said the 3rd anniversary because that was also when TMs first started coming out, and that was very very high.
when they were exciting.
Yeah.
That Blitz battle that came right after the second Annie.
yeah, that's why I
Lucy
was
was
excited.
like
Like,
legendary used for it, and then like
Yeah.
I farmed the whole thing with bloody strength Lucci, and then pulled
Wasn't it V2 Lucci?
Yeah, it was
yeah.
Lucy.
not strength, fucking powerhouse. Yeah, you know what I mean, V2. And then I pulled bloody Lucy from the rewards.
Fun.
Feels good.
Yeah.
Man.
What about JP? I know
Yes.
Knight made a video recently on Annie. What do you think, Knight?
I was thinking 5th because 4th was like the one where they were trying to reward like new players, which is kind of bad in my opinion. But 5th was the one where we got the one based off of clears, like you got certain rewards, and that was really nice. I appreciated that.
That's
And
what I
then
was
we got
thinking too.
Kizuna and stuff, which was
That
really
is
cool.
true. That is true.
Yeah. I definitely think last year's anniversary was JP's best. For sure.
What unit was that again?
Luffy Law.
Ah, fuck.
Yep.
Easy money.
The best one was when they gave out a toaster, man.
Oh, that was the 3rd year anniversary, I think. With
Yeah,
Sanji.
they were giving out like
Yeah.
real life rewards. It was like a fucking one-piece
I
toaster.
think that one of them was a bike as well.
Yeah,
I
like,
want the
I want
bike.
the Switch.
man, do we
Bro,
live
imagine,
that?
imagine
We-
pulling
we
up to
live that.
class. You ride your One Piece Treasure Cruise bike to class. As you pedal it, it gets stamped back faster or some shit.
Christ.
Oh my god.
you pull up to the bike shed, you log your bike, and like, whoa, dude, is that a One Piece Treasure Cruise bike? You're like, hell yeah, man,
Oh,
I
man.
want it.
Sorry to flex on you guys, but
Sorry to flex. I did spend 30,000 yen on this game though, so fuck. All right.
There you go.
I'm gonna say at Freddy Y2K. Should we save our gems for French Annie? That's an interesting one because we don't know what the hell is gonna happen. Generally, French Annies. I know there was a reply to this one that said, "What's French Annie?" French Annie's, as it literally stands, it's the anniversary for the French version of the game.
Yeah,
So-
so the game that we play
was kinda
is
hard.
the English and French version. That's literally what it's called. So it celebrates both.
I
I
feel like
wouldn't
we're
say
not the.
stay for the French Annie in particular. I'd say look at the legends or the units that are coming out in the future, and if there's you like what they do, then save for them and you decide when they come out whether or not that Sugo is one you want to pull on.
I think like the next 5 out of 6 banners are like 2 times legend rates, more or less.
Well, not necessarily.
Well, no,
Like-
the thing is, when Luffy and Law come out, or Luffy Zoro, sorry, every new batch after that is 2 times legend rate.
Literally on JP it was.
Like no
And
joke. It's pretty
So
stupid.
literally Chopper wasn't, and then Luffy, Zoro onwards, all 2 times legend rate.
Yeah, it's dumb.
I feel like we're not the best people to ask about saving gems, other than Poppy, maybe.
Yep.
Because we all spend our gems like a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, I think what Dom said is pretty accurate.
It all depends on what French Annie is. Like for some reason, if somehow French Annie's Luffy Zoro, you pull, you know. But like,
Yeah.
there's a chance that Luffy Zoro comes out towards mid to end May.
We are not waiting till August for Luffy.
What if French
Yeah.
Annie? What if French Annie's just bloody Chopper?
Nah, French Annie won't show up.
But like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
If French
don't-
Annie's Chopper, I'm uninstalling and delete. You heard it here first. I'm not playing this goddamn game. If Chopper,
that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no guarantee
Yeah,
that
exactly.
Annie's gonna be a
Exactly.
good legend.
Yeah,
French Annie could be Shanks' crew.
I'm going to
Fuck
get
French Annie. French Annie's shit.
I think French Annie's going to be Mihawk, Perona, and Rayleigh.
All right, then probably don't pull on that because
Yeah.
6 Annie Legends are right afterwards, and
Look,
then
basically, like Luffy Zoro, yeah, that's a good banner, or the Shanks crew. Those are the only two right
and
now
they're
that I'd
like
say are the best
one.
ones.
They're like one banner apart, and the banner in between that is the waifu banner, I believe.
Yeah,
and
which
then
they
if you're-
could.
If you're really into the waifus, then fuck it, go for it. But like, the next 2 banners that if you have the means to pull on Luffy Zoro, pull for Luffy Zoro and Sober Mask as well,
Mm.
and then pull on Shanks crew and then also Arlong crew. Both those 4 legends are fantastic. Especially Shanks crew is literally just like Luffy Law, like more or
Like
less.
top three.
They're like one of the best
Right.
legends in the game, and they're incredibly powerful. Arlong crew is also very powerful as well. Sober Mask is incredible, and then Luffy Zoro is also incredible as well. So you have
I'd
4
just say
legends that they're
wait-
going to clear a lot of content.
Yeah, I just say wait until there's a character that you like what they do as a captain or a special something. Don't wait for specific things just because they're called an anniversary. Like,
Yep.
if you like a unit, go for that unit. Like, fuck what everybody else says.
You know what's going to happen, Like, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Luffy Zoro was 2.5 times rate, right? That's what the ship banner that no one got anything on, right? They could bump that to 3 times. They could bump that to 0. You know what I mean? Like, we know the banners that are going to come out, but we don't know what the rates are, who's boosted, in what order necessarily
steps.
what's going to happen. Exactly. The steps could change. They could introduce new things. We don't know. So, like, I think Dill's philosophy is quite good in the sense of like, if you think like this unit is great, pull on it. If you think it's not going to be enjoyable, it's not going to be fun, because at the end of the day, you're playing for the purpose to actually enjoy the game. If you're not going to have fun playing with that unit, don't bother pulling and save your gems for a future unit, and that's going to be the best outcome.
Really good
Say-
example
say-
is like how like you see how much Todd enjoys playing with V1 category 6+, even though personally I don't think he's that great. I don't think he's much of an upgrade of the old one. And I think he doesn't compare to stuff like Luffy Law and stuff like that. And
Yeah, obviously.
exactly, but Todd loves Katakuri that's his favorite character in the anime, and he does have a good legend, and he can clear content if you manage to think about a team for that. So I just think that's a good example, as it's one of Todd's favorite characters, and he likes to use it, and he's managed to find teams that work for him.
Yeah, it just depends on how you like to play. That's true.
Yeah,
Completely
exactly.
True. Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, just keep yourself informed. Check the rates. Always check the rates. Don't get
Yeah, I don't even
swindled.
see- even when it comes to rate, who gives a like? If you want to pull for it, don't. It's like it's your money you want to throw away. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's your money.
I'm
of your
I'm
gambling.
assuming this is from a free-to-play perspective, though. So always check the rates.
Just be careful. Like, you
But
know,
either
like
way, you
I'm not
shouldn't
gonna
be.
lie. I check the rates after I'm done pulling.
That's gross.
that's a whale mentality though. That's different.
Either way, you should not be summoning on a banner that's not at least double legend rate if you're free to play.
100%. There's no way
Yeah.
because like
Only if you're
If-
really like scared. Like if you get from like what it says, like he's asking when he should if he should pull on French, and probably because he thinks it's going to be a good banner for legend rate stuff like that. And if you are struggling to get those gems together because for whatever reason if you don't want to spend money on this game or you can't spend money on this game or you can't afford to or whatever, definitely look for double legend rates, 2.5 time legend rates because you're obviously going to have more of a chance to get a legend on the way to what the legend you're aiming for. But if it's just a normal legend rate, but you're like, oh, I've got a decent amount of gems, I wouldn't mind trying to get this character I really love. Go for it.
I actually have something else to say about that because, like, when you really think about it, like every other legend that comes out prior to French Anniversary is going to be on the banner, and they're going to be on whatever parts they are. And the thing is because it is French Anniversary, they might have a special edition unit at that specific time. Maybe we don't know.
Generally, French annies have been good. For the most part, French annies have
honestly,
always
French
been
anniversaries have been better than our actual anniversary.
better than like for the last
Yeah.
like 3 years. I swear, the French anniversary has just been a better banner, just because it has included the previous, like
And the
that
debuting
year's
legend is typically better.
exactly. So, for an overarching standpoint, like if you're really hellbent on spending on like big Sugar Fest, French Annie is technically your next big Sugar Fest to pull on. And then after that would probably be like the New Year's or Christmas the Christmas Sugo. You know? So, you know, from now until French Annie, you can probably save like 300 to 400 gems, I'd assume. Yeah. Maybe. That's throwing numbers in the air, arbitrary,
If you're doing
right?
clearing the content.
Yeah, as long as you're continuing playing,
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you get 2 gems a day. We got to August. That's like 90 days plus all the extra
including any
gems
top
and
missions
stuff.
we might get.
Exactly. Plus the 50 we have now, or this and that. You know, if you're really hellbent on like saving, and you're very good about catching yourself spending too much, if that comes to spending money or just spending gems in the game as well, French Annie is going to be definitely a great time to invest your gems because it's going to have all the previous legends plus potentially a new one and maybe some new rare recruits that do great things as well. All right.
I think we elaborated on that question a bit.
I think it was good. I think I kind of was quite a good answer overall. From Straw Hat Goose, what other forms of gaming do you feel One Piece lacks and need to improve on? So I think there's kind of references in the sense of the new Pirate Warriors game. Who played that? Was it just you, Todd?
Yeah, Pirate Warriors is fun. Just the Switch version wasn't great.
I think like One Piece games are hard. I think any like anime style game is hard.
I still would love to see an MMO of One Piece, to be honest.
That'd be so hard.
Like a creative character. It would be hard, yeah, for sure.
What, similar to like oh shit, what was it called?
Kind of like World of Warcraft, but it's like One Piece.
I was thinking more like what was the Dragon Ball Z game? That was like that.
It was an MMO Dragon Ball Z game?
Yeah.
This is the first time I'm hearing about it.
That's the first time I'm hearing about it too. What the hell?
I forgot about it, but I remember reading that it was going to come out like a long time
I don't know.
ago.
I feel like anime games are very hard to do because everyone kind of wants the game to be relative to
it's hard
the anime itself.
Is it?
But
it's hard for One Piece because there's so many different effects and abilities that characters have.
It's very hard to implement everything.
Yeah. So Xenoverse is what I was thinking of because you make your own character. And
that's not really open world though.
No, but like it's similar to. It's similar enough. Like it's like if you mix like Xenoverse and fucking Kakarot.
I can understand what you're saying. Yeah,
I think Kakarot did it well.
Well, like World Seeker tried.
They did try, but that game
wasn't bad, but it lacked polish.
I realized that, yeah, exactly, and I feel like you need like with I think with a One Piece game, you can't just do the whole world. You know, you have to hone in on a particular. Like if there was a game of just Dressrosa, you know, and then the final boss in the game was Doflamingo, you know, like that would be a lot more enjoyable than having a whole game from the East Blue to Dressrosa, in my opinion.
Oh, well,
you think so?
I think it would be better.
I'd like to once we're getting close, like once we get to the point where the anime is finishing up and stuff like that, they could release a game from East Blue to.
When the anime's finished, yeah. But I feel like in terms of like polishing a game and actually making it good, having that much content is going to be a lot harder to curate than it would if you selected a particular arc to base everything on.
And I
Yeah, I
totally
think
disagree
it's
with
like a
both of those.
particular arc,
Really?
The game's too short. The game is way too short.
I totally disagree with both of what you guys said. I think that the sheer scale of One Piece, I think it's way too difficult to even challenge that. I think that what they did with World Seeker was the right idea. It just the execution wasn't good. But I do think that doing a non-canon story is probably the best way to go
Yeah. I
with a
reckon that's-
large
yeah.
location. Yeah, for sure.
But then you
Yeah.
really have to hone in on writing and stuff to actually
Yeah,
make
the
it
story has to be
engaging,
good.
though. You
Yeah.
know.
And when they do shit like that, it ends up becoming more cringe than anything.
I feel like
Well, that's the thing. If they do a non-canon story, like if they have like really cool callbacks and stuff to actual shit that's going on, like that stuff's always good. Yeah.
Yeah, but so for the example I'm using is the feedback that I've seen from the first Kakarot DLC, which is the Beerus release. So the Kakarot DLC came out and they redid all of it. So everyone thought everyone knew that Beerus and that was coming to the game, but they thought that was going to be like we're going to get to play through the Battle of Gods movie and that would have been awesome like that. No, it's literally you get abducted by Whis, you do 2 fight scenes and then you unlock Super Saiyan God, and then you can fight with Beerus to try and unlock something else. And it is fucking shit.
It sounds bad.
It's like
Jeez.
they don't even have proper cutscenes. It's literally
Aw.
just like, yeah, exactly. And they don't explain much about it. And it's just,
Poor form.
yeah, exactly. So I'm like, when you do stuff like that, where they deviate so far from the story, or if they do their own story type thing, you just got to be really careful that shit like that does not happen.
Hmm.
honestly, just make more gacha games.
I couldn't play any more gacha
Because
games.
that's all they seem to be able to do with that scale. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like a lot of the time with anime things, it's very hard. You know, like Todd said, because the anime worlds are very verbose and very large, and you know, there's a lot of content there. To like get that right is a very fine line, and then there are some fanatic fans that would not be like happy with anything that gets released, regardless of like whatever the quality of the game is itself. Period.
Well, yeah, even for like Kakarot, I think that was the perfect game to do it the way they did it
They
because
did it well.
the world of Kakarot is not as large as One Piece, and I thought the main story of Kakarot was fantastically done.
I
honestly.
loved Kakarot. I
Yeah.
loved playing through it. I even
Great.
went back and did all the stuff I missed with the time machine type stuff. But yeah, the other thing about Dragon Ball Z is like the story has been done to death when it comes to
Yeah.
every single Dragon Ball Z game there is. They play through the main story, and it's I love Dragon Ball Z, and I loved Kakarot. I thought that was a beautiful game. But like, what do they do now? Like
Mhm.
the next
They
Dragon
just
Ball
keep
Z
remaking it. Essentially, they just keep rehashing it.
Would you
exactly.
guys play a game set in the One Piece universe but not following
That'd be
the
cool.
main story?
That would be better than
As
having
long
you
as there's
play as
callbacks to the
Luffy.
main story, that'd be sick.
That'd be way better than having you play as Luffy.
That's what I'm
With a
thinking.
creator character.
I'd say I'd want like like that, yeah, but like it doesn't only revolve around Luffy. So you might be with Luffy 1 second doing something with the Straw Hats, and then next minute you're doing the stuff like Law becoming a warlord.
Or like at the end of the game, there's a big fight against someone, and then you run into the Straw Hats and you fight with them against the enemy or some shit.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
I'll kill
like,
him.
you get
Or maybe you could even choose sides. You know, you could choose to be a marine. You could choose to be a pirate. You could choose to do these. Like, you know,
This sounds so sick.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
man.
all. This is all fantasy casting anyway. So
Yeah.
but that's all we'd want out of a One Piece game.
That sounds
Maybe
Maybe
the impossible. You know, maybe
Yeah.
the impossible, more or less. So like, but like, you know, I think the overarching thing is like they're very hard to make an anime game. Like,
especially to make
good.
everyone happy, as you said.
It's impossible. You know,
Yeah.
like it's pretty much impossible to do so because there are a lot of people who just won't enjoy things because it's not canon or it's not this and not that. But that's probably part of the course, and they're probably aware of that for the most part when they make those kinds of games. Platinum Wolf 99. What captain ability has more versatility? The ability to boost multiple classes or multiple colors? Classes.
Yep, classes.
Why?
Because you can use multiple colors.
Yeah.
Also, there's
multiple classes. It goes without saying you can have multiple colors. So it's literally like, would you rather be restricted and not be able to use some classes because you can't use their color?
It's the best of both worlds.
Exactly.
Checks out.
Yeah.
And then a final question from Instagram. If you guys don't know, we do have an Instagram at GGP Podcast. Go follow us there. Dill will generally be putting up Insta stories that will be letting you guys know that we are going live with podcast episodes, and you can ask questions there, and we will do our best to answer those questions. From Pilot.h, who is the best sub for Luffy Law, and who is the best sub in general? Best sub in general is really hard, but what do you guys say the best sub for Luffy Law is?
Well, the best support is Sengoku.
Yeah, that's par for the course.
Goes to without saying.
Well, what about the best sub?
Or
I want
Corazon.
Or Corazon, yeah.
Or Rayleigh.
Okay, this means we're saying supports.
Or Ivankov.
Okay. You
Um,
want to keep going?
As for an actual sub,
Do you guys want to play
Because he's
OPTC
so
trivia today?
like he's so diverse. Like you could have, there are so many good subs
yeah,
for him.
depends on the content. But
Yeah.
just generically, maybe Perispero, he's good.
Yeah.
I mean, what, like Luffy Law's an orb boost, some sort of attack boost potentially, some sort of.
You know Zoro Sanji.
Yeah, I was thinking
Yeah,
that,
that's a good
but
shout.
you still need to be at full HP to get the most out of him, I suppose.
I'm just
Then
don't get
again,
hit
wait,
forehead.
how many turns
Like,
is there?
I'd say Vivi Rebecca.
That's a good call.
Maybe Becca's a good call.
You don't get the color affinity though for Luffy Law.
True.
Yeah, you don't.
How many turns of an attack boost is Zoro Sanji without full HP?
2x.
No, like how many turns?
I think it's still one.
No, it's 2 turns.
Oh, is it
It's
still
2
two turns?
turns.
If it was 3 turns, I'd say probably Zoro Sanji.
2 turns, 2x is still fucking good though.
It is.
Yeah.
That's a tough question.
Those units aren't used as much as they should be. That Zoro Sanji,
What about
that unit is fucking amazing.
the best sub for the for Luffy Law, the Shanks crew,
Well,
Currently.
or V2 Big Mom?
Like, when I use Luffy Law,
V2 Big Mum. V2
there's
Big Mum's a
somebody
good
I
shout.
use as a sub a lot with them.
It's a very hard legend to like hone
I
in
do
on a
use
sub.
V2 Big Mom a lot with them, actually.
Big Mum, she do be cracking though.
The funny thing is, like, when I build a team, I usually say like, okay, what units do I need on this? And majority of my teams are like, I have like one normal rare recruit and the rest are legends.
Just
It's like free to play units.
with Luffy Law, because they are rainbow, generally the best subs just work with him anyway.
Yeah.
Like just
Like-
the like characters that you think of as very good subs to just work.
Usually characters that synergize with their classes or color.
Like yeah,
Uh,
like Bobbin. I use Bobbin on everything, dude.
Robin's a cool
That's a
guy.
great sub for it too. I think V2 Big Mum is like probably one of the better shouts
Yeah.
as a sub. She's a very strong unit to put with
Just
them.
does it all.
She do be strong though, so
Oh,
Do that.
even like Treasure Map Big Mom.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
Treasure Map
to an
Big Mum
extent.
is one of the best units in the fucking game. Like she's
awesome.
so good.
Oh, yeah,
She-
Big Mom has really good units in this game.
Go figure. And then
Is she the best sub in the game?
I was gonna say, I guess if we can,
Well,
do you guys want to jump
technically-
head first into that kind of conversation? Who's the best sub in the game?
Well, I don't know because you got Shanks crew, which is a 3-turn 3.5 chain lock
Which is
So-
fucking ridiculous.
with a
He's
swap
so
ability that gives you a rainbow attack boost and orbs. So
he's so fucking good. Like that is so good, dude.
so yeah, he's pretty cool.
Cracker.
Another-
Crack, yeah, actually, yeah, I'm just gonna stick with Cracker and end the
Cracker's a
conversation
very
there.
good call.
Because
I do not mind that.
Cracker adds so much fucking damage. It is insane.
That's a tough one to top. I will.
I don't
admit.
know. I think Cracker's just generally a
Cat
fantastic
Dog's
shout.
pretty good.
Cat Dog is really good. Look, at the end of the day, a lot of the best sub conversation and stuff is really dependent on content. Like I'm just gonna put a caveat, like, you know, if you want us to answer these kinds of questions in real depth, for example,
There's some content to.
ask the question and then say, for clearing Clash Ace, for example, then we can be like, okay, Clash Ace does blah 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 blah. A good sub to use here would be for this particular reason, because just in general
Neo
conversation.
Neptune with support Shirahoshi.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah, because then we can go in depth. Like, oh, this is a good sub because you can attach. Like you could, for example, like you could use this, and since they're a slasher, you can attach Raid Zoro, and then you've got an affinity boost on top of all your other boosts. You know what I mean? So,
Another good sub that I want to call out, Ambush Linlin.
yeah.
I use her all the
Yeah,
time.
she does it. She does
Fantastic
it a
unit.
lot.
I know you
She's
do use her all the
so
time.
good.
Like, whenever I see one of your videos, I'm like, oh shit.
She's a good like booster.
She's
That
unique as
boosts-
hell.
Yeah, they need to really do more with that combo boost thing. They really do need to delve into that a little bit.
Yo, any legend combo boost legend?
Oh,
Let's go.
I swear, if I ever hear,
Oh, God.
if I ever hear anyone say that shit,
Oh,
I'm just gonna end it here because I'm not talking about no combo legend shit, bro. Far out.
Legend Bastille.
Oh no.
Legend Bastille,
Legend
bro.
Buffalo, let's go.
Alright, there you guys go. Our two anti-legends are gonna be Legend Bastille and Legend Buffalo. Once again, thank you guys for listening to another episode of Good Great Perfect. Really do appreciate it. We made it to 17 episodes of this podcast, and
Unbelievable, to be honest.
it's been quite the ride, that's for sure. We do apologize for the weird start. Again, we were
Cray.
recording. We had a fantastic start. I'm gonna be
Bloody
real with you.
Trey!
It was I might just chuck the start at the start of the ep, and then the actual start because it was great. And then our recording software just disconnected on us, which was the big sad. But that's okay. And then Todd was on the phone doing business, you know, talking to the guys at Raid Shadow Legends about more deals. You know, Cobb had to dip. Dill had to mute because his dog was barking. Like it was all over the shop. But
Busy day.
it was a busy day. But we really do appreciate you guys listening and commenting and liking and all the good stuff. You can find us on YouTube, Good Great Perfect. All the podcasts are uploaded there. Speaking of that, though, I'm gonna pop an end card here and an end card at the start of the video. Make sure you go ahead and listen to the previous episode where we were graced by the presence of Meme Machine OPTC, and we had a
Voice
great time
reveal.
there. And yeah, the voice reveal is there, so you know it was a very exciting time, that's for sure. It was a fantastic ep. We got into PvP a lot there, and we so you can kind of now reflect on our theories from that, and a lot of them were correct actually, which is insane for the most
Big
part.
brain plays.
We did Big Brain 300 candy. We did Big Brain what the countdown timer was. You know, we were.
No, we're just sponsored by Bandai.
No, don't tell
Oh,
them that.
I
They're not
wish.
meant to know.
I wish.
You can find us on Twitter at GGP Podcast and with the same handle at GGP Podcast on Instagram. Give us a follow there. Dill does a lot of behind the scenes stuff on the Instagram, so if you want to see how things are recorded, you can check it out there. Twitter will be hosting a lot of our stuff there, so you'll be able to see when new episodes are uploaded and keep up to date when we ask for viewer questions, and the same thing on the Instagram as well. We upload all of the audio versions of the podcast to Anchor, and then Anchor distributes them to a plethora of platforms, whether that be on Anchor itself, and then the main three being Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts as well. Without further ado, though, myself, I've been Captain Papi. Cod,
Hey,
Cod, Dial, Job, Newt, and Tood. Thank you all for listening to another episode of GGP. We'll talk to you all next time. Peace.
Peace out, guys.
Hey, if Buffalo is the anti-legend, that means that does fulfill the shooter condition, right?
shut up.